listed the criminal record of SAHRC, who is a close associate of suspended crime detection head Shadrack Sibia, while giving evidence at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. KZN Deputy Commissioner for Crime Detection Anthony Gopal briefed the media about this matter today.
I'm trying to ask myself, what is factual here about your reputation? How will the South African Police Services be back-footed on what we know about you?
Gopal added that the police system was corrupted to benefit SAHRC.
On the 16th of January, at 16:58 in the afternoon of that day, a particular employee of the South African Police Services went into the criminal record system and made some adjustments to the benefit of Mr. Stewart SAHRC.
Let's stay with the Madlanga Commission, which has heard that suspended acting EMPD head Julius Mkhwanazi was willing to die for former Ekurhuleni city manager Imogen Mashazi. This is contained in a video from a 2023 Christmas party where Mkhwanazi publicly announced his allegiance to Mashazi. The video was played before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry today as part of evidence presented by former Ekurhuleni head of employee relations Xolani Ngciza. Ngciza has testified at length today about the political protection Mkhwanazi enjoyed from Mashazi. Oren Singh reports.
During an Ekurhuleni Christmas event in 2023, suspended acting EMPD head Julius Mkhwanazi is seen singing and dancing with a handful of others alongside former city manager Imogen Mashazi. During the celebration, Mkhwanazi, who is accused of enjoying political protection from Mashazi, can be seen addressing Mashazi and laying down his life for her.
We will die for you. We will take a bullet for you.
Mashazi responds.
Thank you so much. Yes.
The video was presented as evidence before the Madlanga Commission by former Ekurhuleni head of employee relations, Xolani Ngciza. Ngciza explains his understanding of the exchange between the pair.
Mkhwanazi then expresses his gratitude to say, you know what, I will die for you because you not only secured my continued employment in the municipality, but it also advanced me.
Mkhwanazi is accused of evading disciplinary action, being shielded by Mashazi, despite several criminal findings against him. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
In the courts now, prominent Zimbabwean politician Job Sikhala says he will allow South Africa's judiciary to determine the truth regarding allegations that he was transporting explosives. Sikhala was released on 10,000 rand bail by the Pretoria Magistrates Court today following his arrest last week. Police found explosives in his car while he was driving in the capital city. Alfa Ramushwana reports.
After spending nearly a week behind bars, prominent Zimbabwean politician Job Sikhala was greeted by dozens of supporters who gathered outside the courthouse following his release on bail. Although visibly relieved to have regained his freedom, Sikhala appeared less receptive when approached by members of the media. The only remark he made regarding his release was that he would allow the South African judiciary to do its work.
You know what? The legal practitioners have asked me not to comment on anything. So I think we have seen the proceedings that have happened in court. We always believed that South Africa has an independent judiciary. Here there is no feja things.
The matter has been postponed to February next year for further investigations. Alfa Ramushwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And in Spain, the Agriculture Ministry has ordered the immediate lockdown of all poultry due to the risk of bird flu. The order applies to all poultry farms, including organic operations and small-scale producers selling directly to consumers. Bird flu cases have been on the rise across Europe, with 139 cases reported since July and 14 in Spain. The measure also bans keeping ducks and geese with other poultry, as well as holding bird fairs as well as exhibitions. Gold is trading at $4,239.48 an ounce. The rand is at 16.96 to the dollar, 22.32 to the pound, 19.71 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $62.71 a barrel.
In Mountain View, City of Tshwane, you can expect about a 30-minute delay leaving the Pretoria CBD. That's on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Wharf and Paul Kruger. It's not clear what's causing this delay, but it looks like the R18 northbound Mabopane Highway is closed off to traffic. So if you have any further info on the situation in the Mountain View area, Pretoria, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
In your sport, the Springboks make 11 changes for Italy test on Saturday. Themba Bavuma says winning in India is the Proteas' top ambition, and Sri Lanka cricket orders their players to stay in Pakistan after bomb blast.
Gauteng is partly cloudy today with isolated afternoon thundershowers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 30 and 32 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the testimony of Cedric Ngabinde, the Chief of Staff of Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, has been cut short in Parliament this afternoon.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7.
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Good afternoon and welcome to 702 Drive with me, Khomotsa Modise. I'm in for John Perlman this afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Thursday, the 13th of November. It's 8 minutes past 3, and that means it's time for Afternoon Drive. I'm with you between now and 6 p.m. and there's lots to get through on the news front. Coming up on the show this afternoon, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has had another press briefing, this time to respond to allegations made by a man named Stuart James Sharnik. You may remember we had a conversation about Sharnik yesterday with EWN reporter Oren Singh. Now, that's General Shadrack Sibia, his bodyguard. And I'm interested in why the general, that is General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, feels the need to respond to Sharnik's allegations. We'll be going to Nhlanhla Mabaso, who's the EWN reporter covering this story for us in KZN. And then staying with that story, we know that Sharnik opened a defamation case yesterday against crime intelligence boss General Dumsani Khumalo. And I think it would be helpful for us to know the legalities around testimonies at the Commission of Inquiry. Can one person open a defamation case against another if they're uncomfortable with a testimony? And does the Commission provide any protection to people that make allegations before it? We'll then head to Limpopo, where popular Lekompo musician, that's Lehlogonolo Chauke, who's known as Shebe, he's appearing in the Polokwane Magistrates Court, and EWN's Mongezi Koko is there. And then for your house, your home, we talk about Christmas nights. I love this time of the year. The Christmas lights are absolutely beautiful. But there are laws and bylaws around the use of Christmas lights. And I think if you're going to be starting to put those up and shopping for lights, you want to be shopping for the right lights, the right colors, and know that you act within the law. So we'll be having that conversation a little later on in the show. All right, we'll be having that and more right here on Afternoon Drive. Of course, on the drive team this afternoon, it's the ladies, Tediso and Refuwe, who are taking your calls. And then the two Karabos are hanging out with me in studio. That's Karabo Malapile, who's the technical producer. Karabo Chale is watching the roads. Tolagele Mganga is on sport. Stephen Curtis on business. Mbali Dlamini has your news. And that is Afternoon Drive today. If you want to get in touch, dial us on 011 883 0702. Or if you want to send a WhatsApp, it's 072 702 1702.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
So there's so many moving parts to the ad hoc committee as well as the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. I'm looking at the screen and I know that Cedric Ngabinde, who was the chief of staff for Senzo Mchunu, he was testifying at the ad hoc committee today. His testimony has been cut short. That's according to Newsroom Africa. It's flashing on the screen. And he's going to be amending his contradictory statement while he seeks legal advice. And that's the thing about speaking before you appear before a commission of inquiry or the ad hoc committee. Because you remember that Nkabinde called his own little press briefing. He called a journalist to a restaurant and he wanted to speak about how his cell phone, or police were looking for his cell phone and his gadgets, and he was uncomfortable with the whole thing. And now he's before the ad hoc committee and he is going to be withdrawing from that testimony, having to amend his statement. I do hope we'll be able to touch base with someone from our parliamentary team on that, just to hear what's been going on there. But at the same time, there's also the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, where we're hearing further testimony from Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department representatives who have been testifying this week. And they've been speaking about the extent of the alleged corruption at the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department, as well as the relations that those in power have had with Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. So that's what's happening on the news front and in the Madlanga space, I should call it, or the Mkhwanazi space, if that's what you want to call it. So we'll have that and more on the show in the afternoon. But also, I'm really looking forward to the conversation around Christmas lights, and I hope that you are going to be, you're going to benefit from it, especially because I'm sure you're looking to have those Christmas lights put up soon. So, a random thought of the day today. We were having a conversation, Karabo and I, Karabo Charlie and I. And of course, by now you know that Karabo has a lovely little boy, a son, Kabomu, who is in grade 3.
3, yeah.
And he came home and said something interesting to you, Karabo.
Well, it was a trip to school while I was doing my school run. So my kid randomly asked me, Papa, how old were you on 9/11? How old were you on 9/11? So I was like, 9/11. So I was like, oh, okay, I think I was 14. So 9/11 meaning that drama that happened in America with the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and stuff. And I was like, geesh, okay, why are you asking me this? It's like, oh no, we were discussing it at school, and our teacher showed us the videos of the planes crashing into all those buildings, and I was like, whoa, okay. In grade 3, you're discussing geopolitical politics. You know, that's interesting. At my age, we were doing woodwork and needling. What is it? Woodwork and like
woodwork in grade 3.
Yeah, we were doing woodwork in grade 3.
Really? I don't remember woodwork in grade 3.
The boys did woodwork,
Yes.
and the girls were doing needlework.
Needlework, 100%. So we didn't go into deep conversations of geopolitics and watching videos of planes crashing into buildings. And this is lives were taken. And I thought, isn't this a bit too much? Or, like for an 8-year-old, the person who's in grade 3 to consume at school. Yeah. And it got me thinking, as a parent, have you found things that your kids are taught at school or exposed to in class, a bit surprising or a bit overwhelming for them? Because, I don't know, I remember when I was in grade 10, we did Othello for film study. So we analyzed the Othello, the movie, and there was this adult scene there. Like, it was like extreme graphic, like what, Game of Thrones kind of type of vibe. And I'm like 15, and I'm like, whoa, will my parents be okay with me watching this, you know? So it got me thinking, are you surprised, overwhelmed, or just a little bit worried about some of the things that your kids tell you about that they do at school or they study at school?
I don't know. Rufue, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Khumutso, and to the rest of the 702 family. So I don't have kids at the moment, but I'm just thinking back to school. I remember we did the book in literature and English. We did Alice Walker's Color Purple. This was in grade 8. I read the first page. Vulgar. I was like, whoa, language. You know when you're like, yo, I shouldn't be reading this. And it actually took me a while to sort of, And another book we also read was Master Harold and the Boys. There's a scene, vulgar. I remember having to read it out because we did out loud reading. We had to read it out. And my teacher, I went to a conference school. She's like, no, Rufue, just say the word, Rufue. Just say the word and pause. I'm like, you're not saying the word.
Yeah.
I'm saying the words. The vulgar words. Because I mean, also at grade 8, grade 10, you're like, oh, I shouldn't be saying this. This is a naughty word. Although, you know, sometimes you could be saying it with your friends, but you're not saying it in front of adults. Yeah. So it's like, oops, I just said a naughty word. So for me, it was the literature that was like mind-blowing. I'm like, yo, grade 8.
No, I hear you. It always surprises me just how early sex education is being taught in schools now. You know, that shocks me. I heard that kids are now being taught in grade 3, grade 4 already.
Okay, so I shouldn't be surprised when he says, yo, daddy.
No, soon Kabadu will be coming
grade
home.
1.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Because they would say to us, mom and dad hug each other with love naked, and then a baby comes out. So they had a way of sort of making it. In grade 1, I remember sitting in the audiovisual room with my peers, and we were told, mom and dad hug each other with love naked, and then a seed is formed, becomes a baby. We still didn't understand. We were laughing about it. And there was like an animation. We're like, yo.
Look, don't get me wrong. I don't see a problem with my kid studying all this geopolitical stories and getting awareness of it. It's just that actually I find it very interesting and actually interesting that they are studying that, because we were very naive at their age.
Yeah, in grade 3. I mean, all I remember, I think in grade 3, what were we doing? We were done with the handwriting.
Yes,
I think
cursive. We were starting with the
calligraphy.
cursive.
I did calligraphy and cursive.
And where did you go to school?
Okay, well, I'm going to go.
Listen, I'm taking your calls. I'd like to hear from you. What are some of those subjects or what are the things that are taught at school, at your children's school, that shock you? For me, it's the sex education, but also for Karabo, it's the geopolitics. And you say Karabo now is afraid of flying.
Yes, yeah, that's the worrying thing. He was like, so how does that make you feel, learning about all this? It's like, now I'm scared to fly. I don't think I can get into a plane. So now I have to go down, sit him down and actually try and discuss this whole thing holistically tonight.
All right, 011-883-0702, 072-702-1702. I'm taking your calls.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Karabo, how are the roads looking?
Well, at this stage, it's I'm not sure what's happening in the Pretoria area, but you can expect about a 30-minute delay in the Mountain View area. That's leaving the Pretoria CBD on Eskiam Pahlele. This is between Vormhagen and Paul Kruger. This is a result of road closure on the R18 northbound. That's the Mabopane Highway between Eskiam Pahlele and the Hairpin Bend. If you're on that route, please let us know what's going on. It's not yet clear on my side yet. You can WhatsApp me on 072-702-1702. In the Ekurhuleni area, Sunwood Park, we still have those roadworks slowing down traffic. N17 eastbound heading towards Brakpan between Rondebold and Carnival City. In Kelvin Alex, roadworks slowing down traffic on the N3. This is in the southerly direction between the Batuin Interchange and London Road. Like I said, if you come across any other traffic issues, WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702. We are also on X at EWN Traffic.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Piano at the age of 4, did someone get you interested in it, or is it something that you just found fascinating already at that young age?
It was my mother who was interested in it. So I'm the last of 5. My mother said that she had tried to get the other siblings in, but they started a bit later. And so I started quite early with my piano lessons, and I stuck with it. It was very challenging because practice time always had to happen before you go outside and play with your friends.
Clement
Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Classics on Turf is back, where golf and classical music meet in one unforgettable Johannesburg night. Join 702 at Killarney Country Club on Friday, the 14th of October, as Kutlwano Masote leads a full orchestra bursting with energy, color, and rhythm. Sharing the stage, Judith Sepuma brings her velvet voice and unmatched charm to a proudly South African musical celebration. Your ticket includes delicious canapes and welcome drinks, and with a rain-proof setup, the show goes on no matter what the weather. Book now at quicket.co.za. Classics on Turf is proudly made possible by Telkom and brought to you in partnership with 702.
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for that video to download, or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 48-year-old Felicity, who now pays a low 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tucson. With Outsurance, you get the legendary out bonus that pays you a percentage of your premiums back if you're claim-free. SMS out to 45142. Make today the day you switch and get more out. After switching, 31-year-old Palisa now pays only 926 Rand a month for her 2024 Kia Sonet. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? Get a quote today. And if Outsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, you can ask for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Summer's almost here, and so is the magic of the Stodels pot promotion. For a limited time, enjoy up to 50% off pots of every size, shape and color. Big or small, indoor or outdoor, plastic or ceramic. There's something special about finding the perfect pot, the one that brings color, life and joy to your garden. Hurry, this once-a-year event ends 16 November. Visit your nearest Stodels Garden Centre today. Stodels, create happiness.
You want a new car, but prices keep climbing, the timing doesn't feel right, the deals are never good enough. Until now. The Motor Select Demo Deal Dash is back this Friday and Saturday only. Get up to 100,000 Rand trade-in assist on over 1,800 demo models across 26 leading brands, all backed by SA's largest and leading dealer network. It's just 2 days. Visit motorselect.co.za to shop our demo range now.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
1523 on 702 Drive. Let's take a look at this story. Prominent Zimbabwean politician Job Sikhala was back in court today, and he's been granted bail of 10,000 Rand by the Pretoria Magistrates Court. Sikhala was caught with 26 blasting cartridges, 15 capped fuse connectors in his vehicle while he was driving in Pretoria a week ago. Alpha Ramushwana was in court, and he joins us now live. Alpha, thank you for your time. Let's just start with, the last time when we spoke, Alpha, you said the NPA had not decided whether or not they were going to oppose bail. What happened today in court?
Good afternoon, Khomutso. As you've said, Job Sikhala has been released on 10,000 Rand bail today, but it was quite of an interesting day in court today, because when we arrived, we're still under the impression that the National Prosecuting Authority would not be opposing Sikhala's release on bail. But during court proceedings, they then changed their tactics and their strategy, seemingly wanting to oppose his bail application. The prosecutor asked the magistrate to stand down the matter for a few minutes because he needed to verify some of Sikhala's past convictions. I remember when we last spoke, Khomotso, I had told you that the NPA still wanted to verify the authenticity of reports that he has been convicted before and has been arrested more than 60 times in his home country in Zimbabwe. And it seems like they were not successful to do that over the past few days. In fact, in court, the prosecutor said that they had sent an email to Interpol to verify whether this man has been arrested multiple times before. What we do know for a fact is that last year he was convicted of inciting public violence in Zimbabwe, which is linked to a public unrest in June 2022 in their country. That's the only thing they were able to verify, which he also confirmed in court. But they were not able to verify the reports that we've seen on multiple international and Zimbabwean media that he's been arrested more than 60 times over the past 30 years. They've sent an email to Interpol, but Interpol has yet to respond. And based on the state's unreadiness, the fact that they did not have that information on them today, he was released on 10,000 Rand bail.
So I'd imagine there were arguments made for bail. What was the argument that was made by Sikhala?
Well, he told the court that he is not a flight risk at all, told the court that he has family in South Africa. Some of his children are also nearby, and it's believed that they're the ones who actually paid for his 10,000 Rand release on bail. He told the court that his children would settle the amount. He had actually asked to be released on 2,000 Rand bail, and the court said 10,000 Rand, and his children were quick to pay it this afternoon in court. But he had told them that he has many relatives in and around Gauteng, Pretoria, and Johannesburg, and he would be staying with them until his matter is concluded in court. He's set to return to the Pretoria Magistrates Court in February next year. In the meantime, the state is going to be continuing with some of the investigations. But the main argument was that he's not a flight risk at all, and he's able to provide the court with the details of his relatives who he'll be staying with here in Gauteng.
Yeah, and it wasn't very clear, or the circumstances around the alleged crimes were not very clear the last time we spoke, Alpha. Do we now know what the state is really alleging and what the charges are?
So the state says it still wants to continue with its investigations, and it's asked for a 2-month postponement, and they'll be back in February next year, 3-month postponement. And during this 3 months, they're going to be continuing with the investigations. But the charges remain the same so far. It's possession of explosives. The state believes that the explosives that were found in his vehicle last week belonged to the Zimbabwean politician. But we had a moment to speak to him today, Khomotso, and he said that he has evidence to prove that those explosives were planted in his car. So he's alleging that he was framed.
All right, Alfara Mushwana, thank you so much for your time. He's the EWN reporter that's been following the court appearance of prominent Zimbabwean politician Job Sikhala.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Let's stay in the courts now. In Polokwane, we saw popular musician Lehlogonolo Chauke, known as Shebe. He appeared in the Polokwane Magistrates Court today on charges of attempted murder, and it's linked to an alleged road rage incident. Mongezi Koko is out in Polokwane, joins us now live. Mongezi, thank you for your time. Let's start with this alleged road rage incident. Do we have a sense of exactly what happened or what's alleged to have happened?
Good afternoon, Khomotso. Well, as you would imagine, that it's still the early stages, so the state hasn't necessarily presented its case before the court with the clear details as to how this road rage incident unfolded. But what we do understand is the date, of course, and some of the damage that was inflicted on that day. So today we learned of the 3 preferred charges by the state against Mr. Chauke, popularly known as Shebe, as you said, being attempted murder, malicious damage to property as a result of that alleged firing incident, and the unlawful possession of a firearm. So he stood in the dock today, walked in, really greeted everyone, quite happy to see his partner in particular. And this is where the state then presented to the court that it would like to consolidate other matters which he has. Now, it's important to note that these other matters are allegedly violent too. So the consolidation of these matters would then bump up the schedule that he currently faces, which is a Schedule 5 offense or case, to a Schedule 6. Of course, this then makes it more difficult for him to secure his release on bail. His lawyers, on the other hand, have defended him, saying that they have a ironclad case rather, and are ready to defend him and will ensure that he's a free man, whether it's on bail or ultimately walking free. But a lot of controversy around the situation. As you said, he is quite a famous Lukompo artist. He has over 50 bookings for the month of December. The question then is, will the fans continue to see him? Will he be behind bars? All of this we'll learn next week when the matter returns to the same court on Friday. And this is when the bail application procedure will begin, followed by, of course, the bail arguments and then eventually the bail outcome, which will determine if he's able to fulfill his obligations or not.
All right, let's leave it there. That's Mongezi Koko, EWN reporter out in Polokwane at the court appearance of Lehlogonolo Chauke, known as Shebe. He's a popular musician there facing charges of attempted murder. He's back in court next week for bail hearings. It is 3:30 and Mbali Dlamini is standing by with your news.
Thanks, Khomotso. Good afternoon. President Cyril Ramaphosa says speeding up the construction of schools is critical to achieving quality education. He's speaking at the National Construction Summit, which is underway in Boksburg today. The 2-day summit has brought together government officials, labour and business partners as well. It comes just a day after the South African Human Rights Commission released a report saying that government is still failing children in public schools when it comes to access to quality education. Jabuli Limbata reports.
Many gathered at the construction summit are in agreement that infrastructure is key to economic growth as it presents opportunities in job creation and transformation. Speaking at the summit, President Cyril Ramaphosa says in order to reduce inequality, learners need classrooms, sanitation facilities, and safe learning environments.
We are here also so that we can build a country where there are enough classrooms for all the children of our country.
He adds that dignity of learners must be restored.
Where no child has to swim across a river to get to school is what we are here about, to build bridges so that our children can cross rivers to go to school in a safe manner.
The president says the idea also presents a business opportunity. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
With 9 days to go before hosting the G20 Leaders Summit, Cabinet says it's all systems go. Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Nchabeni, says government remains unfazed by the United States' indication that it will boycott next weekend's final event in the country despite taking over the presidency next year. Nchabeni says the US's absence could facilitate consensus being reached amongst other nations to produce a declaration. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Nchabeni, says Cabinet is satisfied the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting was able to reach consensus. The fourth Sherpa meeting, which will be working on a declaration, and the social summit next week are the last G20 events before the Leaders Summit. With 130 meetings having been held in provinces across the country, South Africa is now readying to host world leaders, not only from G20 nations. Nchabeni says the absence of the United States won't affect the program in any way.
It doesn't change that they take over. They take over because of the rotation. So it doesn't change anything. It doesn't diminish our work. We remember, South Africa will remain part of the troika of the outgoing chair, the chair, and the incoming chair.
The President is expected to visit the Nasrec Exhibition Centre tomorrow, where the Leaders Summit will be held. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
In the courts now, the Polokwane Magistrates Court has heard that Limpopo musician Letlogonolo Chauke is linked to several other violent cases in Limpopo. Chauke appeared in court today facing charges of attempted murder, possession of an unlicensed firearm and malicious damage to property, all stemming from an alleged road rage incident last month. During his appearance, prosecutors revealed that he's also under investigation for other incidents, including alleged assaults as well as firearm-related matters. The court heard that consolidation of the additional charges could elevate his case to a Schedule 6 offence. Magistrate Godfrey Nechiwudzi.
You are facing Schedule 5 offences. The state further alleges that it is possible that there is an additional charge that may be added in this matter, to therefore suggest that the initial Schedule 5 offence which is stated may then migrate to Schedule 6 offence.
And France is honouring the victims of the deadly Paris terror attacks. On this day 10 years ago, jihadists killed 130 people in shootings and suicide bombings in and around Paris. 2 survivors later took their own lives as a result of the physical and emotional trauma. President Emmanuel Macron visited the sites of the attacks today before presiding over a remembrance ceremony at a memorial garden in central Paris. The sole surviving member of the 10-person jihadist cell that staged the attacks is currently serving life in prison. Gauteng is partly cloudy with isolated afternoon thundershowers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 30 and 32 degrees.
Mountain View, Pretoria, leaving the CBD, expect about a 30-minute delay on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and Paul Kruger. It looks like the R18 northbound Mabopane Highway is closed off to traffic. That's why we have those delays. In Calvin, roadwork still causing heavy delays on the N3 southbound between the Butler Interchange and London Road.
The top story in EWN, President Cyril Ramaphosa says speeding up the construction of schools is critical to achieving quality education.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
The minister did say that government is clamping down on the illegal trade, saying that in the last 6 months, SAHRC suspended 3 licenses for non-compliant tobacco production, provided intelligence reports to SAHRC to assist in investigations of criminal syndicates. It's clearly not enough.
Well done to the minister. As you say, it's too little, but at least it starts showing a commitment from government, and that's the first step that's required is political will, and then there are other steps that must also be taken.
Francois van der Merwe is the spokesperson for the South Africa Tobacco Transformation Alliance.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
Tip your way to glory in the Hollywood Bets Punters Challenge, the free-to-play horse racing game with daily cash giveaways and massive jackpot prizes. Pick all the winners on the race card and you could win 100,000 Rand. Bet 50 Rand or more on your selections using the Bet Slip feature and you could walk away with 1 million Rand. Visit punterschallenge.hollywoodbets.net today and tip your way to the top. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
Day 20, awaiting proof of payment. Day 30, still waiting. Day 40, funds finally cleared. In business, credit with 55 interest-free days keeps you moving. We get it. Get an ABSA Business Credit Card. Use over 50% of your credit and initiation fees will be on us. Offer ends 31 December 2025. Apply at absa.co.za/business. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. ABSA, your story matters.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
I remember around grade 3, grade 4 was the time when we first watched the budget speech when it was presented on TV. So one of the teachers would bring a television and then we would listen and watch the budget speech. I think it was grade 3 or grade 4, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow, I love that one. I think that's actually a cool one, right?
Yeah, it's cool, but I think at that age, I would fall asleep mid the speech. I'd probably fall asleep or just fidget and find something else to do.
Yeah, grade 3s, 4s, they can't sit still.
Yeah.
And then you want to tell them about inflation targeting. Yeah. They're like, what's going on?
I mean, even at my age, some of the things he talks about, I'm like, okay. What are you talking about?
You need to do better. No. So we're talking about some of the things that your kids are taught at school that shock you or surprise you or concern you a bit, you know, when it comes to the adult material that you're exposed to, even in high school. I think that's concerning.
Yeah.
And I think that if you were to tell some parents, did you tell your parent actually?
No, where would I start? So yeah, I just let
say,
it
Ma,
be.
they played this thing for us and I'm not sure I should be watching this.
No, we didn't have those discussions at home.
Okay. Yeah. And that's the reality for many parents, right? And I think, oftentimes also parents don't know how much their children are exposed to at school, formally or informally, right? But even formally, the conversations around sex education, you just hear your child making reference to something in conversation and you go, wait a minute. Where did you learn that, or how do you know that? It's always so interesting for me to realize just how it changes over the years. For us, I think the first time we were exposed to any content around reproduction, birds and the bees, or anything of that sort was in grade 6.
Jeez.
That was, we were 12 in grade 6, but now grade 3s. Rafua says in grade 1, some grade 4s are already exposed to it. So yes, what are some of the things that are taught at school that shock you? We're taking your calls on 011 883 0702, 072 702 1702.
EWN Sport.
Good afternoon, Tolagele.
Afternoon, Khomotso. Rassie Erasmus has made 11 changes to the Springbok team for their clash against Italy, with captain Siya Kolisi one of only 4 players retained in the starting 15 from their French win. Selected selection sees Zachary Portland making just his second test appearance. Jean Glein returns for the first time since the 2023 World Cup final. Ben Jason Dixon makes his first test appearance of this tour, while Edward van der Merwe joins Lee Kirtley Arendse on the wings, looking to add to his 5 tries from his last 4 tests.
Credit to the playmakers in the team. I think those guys that put you into space, and as a winger, there's not much more that you want. Hopefully when the opportunity comes again to play and put the winning goal jersey over my head, it will be the same sequence, and hopefully I can add more tries to my tally.
Themba Bavuma is fit again and will return to lead the Proteas in their 2-test series against India that gets underway tomorrow. Ahead of it, he's confirmed that Ryan Rickleton will keep wicket, but they're yet to settle on the rest of the starting team.
Yeah, look, we haven't finalized the team ordinarily we would have, but it's all those different, considerations. The ball does seem to swing here in Kolkata, probably a little bit more than what we are accustomed to play against, playing in India. So, there's obviously the consideration of the extra spinner, but obviously it being subcontinent as well, you want to make sure that you have the resources from a spin point of view.
Sri Lanka Cricket have told its players to remain in Pakistan or risk facing a formal review after members of the squad declared their intention to depart early. That's due to security concerns. The players want to leave following Tuesday's suicide bombing in the country's capital, which killed 12 and wounded 27 outside a court. At the same time, the Tri-Nation T20 series
featuring Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe will be played entirely in Rawalpindi. That's from November 18th, following that suicide bombing in Islamabad. Over to football, where Nkosinati CBC has labelled Bafana Bafana's clash with Zambia on Saturday as a friendly war. The two nations meet at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in what is South Africa's final preparation game ahead of the AFCON 2025 squad announcement.
We totally agree with the coach. There's no such thing as a friendly game. I think as soon as you wear that jersey and you're in that field, it's war. But it's a peaceful war. Yeah, come Saturday, I think all guns will be blazing. The motivation is always the same whenever we're at camp, whether we're playing a friendly game, a qualifier. Always trained as if it's our last training session, because we don't take it for granted to be here. It's always a privilege to be here, and I think you have to earn your spot in order for you to play.
Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Let's take some traffic. Karabo, there seems to be issues leaving the Pretoria CBD.
Yes, Khomozo, at this stage in the Mountain View area heading towards Soshanguve, you can expect about a 30-minute delay. This is on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and Paul Kruger. It's not yet clear what's causing this delay, but I see it looks like there's road closures. This is on the R18 northbound Mabopane Highway between Eskiam Pahlele and the Hairpin Bend. If you're on that route, please let us know what's the situation there, what's going on. WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702. We are also on X at EWN Traffic. Leaving Sandton at this hour, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on Greyston Drive between Rivonia Road and the M1. In Calvin Alex area, roadwork slowing down traffic on the N3 South between the Butlu Interchange and London Road, and in Sunwood Park, Boksburg heading towards Brakpan, roadworks also slowing down traffic. N17 eastbound between Rondebolt and Carnival City. I'll have your next Eyewitness News traffic update just after 4.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast
On PrimeMediaPlus.com.
Welcome back. This is 702 Drive. My name is Khomoza Modise. I'm in for John Perlman. It is 15:44 right here on 702 Drive, and we're taking your calls and your voice notes on some of the things that are taught at school that shock you. There's some things that your children may have come home and told you about that really surprised or even concerned you. There's Talagelo Mganga in studio who joins us now this afternoon. Talagelo, what are some of those things that you found to be a little concerning?
Because I did a student-teacher placement earlier this year as part of my degree. I was very surprised about people's opinions about ChatGPT, AI, misogyny, and feminism. And I think the biggest concern is I feel like parents need to start monitoring what they children are watching and listening to, because we are in a podcast era where everybody has their opinions, and when you're just chatting casually to kids and they're telling you like how they view women, how they view like the future, you're just like, guys, I don't know if you guys are learning that in the classroom or you're doing it on your own trip and personally just finding that information. But I feel like parents just need to kind of have a censor about that, because it's very concerning, the rise of the misogynistic takes that they're having, which is also turning into violence. That is something that we need to be wary of.
And these are high school children.
High school children. Some of them are going to go to varsity. Some of them might skip varsity and go straight into work. So just watch out for that.
And are they learning this amongst each other, the friendship groups, or is this part of what's being taught in school?
I think in school there's an open policy where it's like, if you guys find something on the internet and you want us to discuss it, everybody can share their opinion. But ultimately, as the teacher, you can't say to them, don't go on that website, don't do that thing. They have the free will because they have their own cell phones, they have their own computers. They are passing the messages towards each other. They're feeding each other that information and saying, this is what we should do, this is what we shouldn't do. So the concern is how they are all influencing each other to kind of take a specific route that's not necessarily the best route to operate in society.
Sure. You see, that's what's concerning for me also when it just comes to children and school. It's the fact that it's what they learn officially in class or in school, what they learn as part of the syllabus, which is one part of the learning. But another really big part of the learning is also what they learn among each other as friends, and what they hear from each other. And this is a large part of how children are developed. Their views are formed here. Their characters are formed in that way. oftentimes, the views that they hold about women and societal issues, substance abuse and all of that is what they learn not so much in the classroom, but what they learn amongst each other in their friendship groups, among their peers. And that for me is really, really concerning. Of course, we're speaking about the things that are taught at school that shock you. And I like that it's been opened to not just being taught officially or formally in school, but what's being taught amongst each other, amongst the friends. I was saying a little earlier that for me, I will never get used to the sex education and the fact that it's taught so early, and it just keeps getting earlier and earlier and earlier. And I'm certain that there's a reason behind it, right? There's a logic behind when you start teaching that, and that's of course with the curriculum planning, there are reasons why certain curriculums are tweaked the way that they are. Of course, children now in the age of social media as well as AI and what they're consuming online, there is a need to respond to that. In fact, Talagela said something really lovely just now, where she's been speaking about how in some schools there's an open policy. So if you see something online, you're able to come to some schools come to class and say, listen, let's talk about this. I think that's absolutely fantastic, because that means the kids can be engaged on all the things that they consume, which isn't always necessarily what they learn from a textbook, like when you and I may have been in school. It is 15:48.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
So you may have heard over the last few days that an event that promises a fusion between golf and classical music is coming up in Joburg. It's called Classics on Turf at the Killarney Country Club, but it's an event that's been running in Joburg. It's also debuted in Cape Town on Saturday, and that was quite a success. The Joburg edition is tomorrow, and joining me for that conversation right here in the studio, we have Mpho Gumede, who's the event director from Classics on Turf. Mpho, good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
I mean, let's just start with this fusion between it's golf and classical music.
Yes.
I can see it, right? Both of them are, very there's leisure attached to both of them, and there's elegance. I think that's the right.
100%.
That's the right
Yes,
term.
that's the perfect word for it.
So, talk to me about the decision to fuse the two together.
Basically, want to put two classical, timeless beauties together. There is a wonderful, for those who are golfers, those 18 holes are about 5 kilometers. It's a 5 kilometer walk, but it's one where you're challenging yourself, you're with mates, it's a good time, you're out in nature, you're challenging yourself. Sometimes the elements are on your side, sometimes they're not. It really is a good time. And then to end off the day, whether your game was glorious or disastrous, you get to then celebrate that afterwards in the evening with classical music. And we really do have the best. We've got Kutlwano Masote as our music director, and he's also the conductor. So he brings an incredible orchestra, and we also have the privilege of having a guest feature artist. This time around, we've got Judith Sapuma joining us tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
So it really is just, it's a good time. It's a good time. It's a good day. It really, it's perfect. It's just the way you want to end off your week and the way you want to start off your weekend, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I like that you've clarified how it's going to work, because I thought we're golfing while there's classical music playing in the background.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes the golfers, if that ball lands on one of our orchestra team, it could be disastrous.
Yeah.
So it's more of a reward after the golf or after the golf clinic, which is also one thing that we've introduced. We've introduced the golf clinic because, not everybody has been exposed to golf. It is a beautiful game. Yeah. And we thought, you know what? In a family or in a group of friends, you've got the golfer and you've got the novice, the one that's curious about it. And so want to bring them together, which is why we've got the golf clinic, where we're actually going to be having lessons with instructors on, how to hold the club, how to name the clubs, and how to swing the ball. It is really a good time. And we have some bubbles and some canapes. You can't miss it. You shouldn't miss it.
It sounds demure.
It is demure.
Just talk to us about that golf clinic.
The golf clinic.
When, how does it work? Does Khomozo just walk in?
So you also register for it. So what we have is that at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, I think the golfers who are going to do the 5 kilometers on the 18-hole greens, they are going to be meeting earlier at 10 o'clock to register and start off their day. In the afternoon, as for the golf clinic, then arrive. We have some canapes first. We have it at the driving range at Kilani Country Club. It's going to be the driving range. So if you've registered on our website or via Quicket, then you can purchase a ticket there to join us for the golf clinic. And we'll start, I think, around 2 o'clock is when we have the hors d'oeuvres and canapes and bubblies, just to help you relax. You know what I'm saying? Don't take yourself too serious when you're learning golf. There's, fun and learning go together.
Yeah.
And then 3 o'clock, the coaches come and start the lesson. I think we have they can take about 10 people at a time to 12 people.
Okay.
And you get like not one-on-one, but it's a group lesson, but you're getting the attention of the coach and just really directing you from the beginning, and they meet you where you are. Like you've completely never even held a golf club in your hand.
Wow.
Don't worry, the coach has got you. If you have been for a lesson or two and you just want to fine-tune a few things and you really want to push yourself a bit more to really take your golf lesson seriously, this is a good start. So essentially it's for everyone. If you've never tried golf, you're curious, you think maybe deep down inside there's a Tiger Woods in you. Come through.
And talk to us about why this event is proving to be such a success. I know that you were in the Western Cape recently, and that was absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Why do you think it resonates with the people as it does?
I think it's just, I think South Africans, Joburgers, we love to have a good time. But also I think it's the inclusivity of it. It's not for men. It's not for women. It's not for kids. It really is for everybody. At the last one in Cape Town, we actually had a family. We had a father, his wife, and their son. I think is about 10 years old. And they had they actually started off in the golf clinic and then joined us for the music. The son is learning piano. So for him to be going from a golf lesson and then sitting in a row and watching Paul Hamner on the keys. I mean, that memory is going to stick in his mind forever. It might even, propel him and push him even further in his piano lessons. So it really is an event for the whole family. There is something for everyone. We will no longer have golf widows. That'll be a thing of the past, because you can be there if you're not a golfer, come to the clinic, and then the whole family comes together in the evening and there's a shared experience of, we can have a good time at the golf course,
And just talk us through, I know you've touched on the program a bit.
Yes.
But it does start in the afternoon tomorrow.
So the music part starts in the evening. So the morning is when the golfers begin. They tee off, I think, at 10 or 11. And then the golf clinic starts in the afternoon at 2. And then the music starts in the evening at 6:30. But we do ask the guests to arrive at least at 5:30, have some canapes, register, get settled in. And then from 6:30, Kutlano and the orchestra and Judith Puma take it away.
Yeah, I was about to ask you what we can expect. I saw a full orchestra,
Yes.
which is amazing.
That is how we roll. We had a 30-piece orchestra, and sometimes our featured artists will bring their band. It is the most incredible thing to watch. When I think about it, I have goosebumps, and I think what's beautiful also about the Classics on Turf thing is that it's live music. Those ginormous, weird-looking instruments that you really see are there in your face, and you get to just appreciate the skill behind it. You get to appreciate just the work that goes behind it, and just to experience it live. It's not an everyday thing, and I think that's what really kind of sets it apart.
And what would you like attendees to take home with? I can imagine the memories are going to be incredible. I'm imagining it. I wasn't sure if I was going to go, but now I'm really, really convinced.
Honey, don't miss it. Don't do that to yourself. You deserve good things.
What are you hoping?
Nice things.
What are you hoping your attendees take home with, after the event tomorrow?
I think what I would like to see is, if you've never been exposed to classical music, I would like people to leave with an appreciation of classical music and appreciation of golf, because the two, in my opinion, are two forms of arts, and they're timeless, and they've been with us since God knows how long, and they're going to be there in the future. We're going to probably, tweak it and fuse it with jazz and other things, but it will always be there. I'm seeing a lot of younger people, younger generations also coming more into golf. It is also going across the race spectrum, like everybody is getting into it. And I just want people to leave with an appreciation of, wait a minute, golf is not so bad. I can do it, I can enjoy it for the fun. Even if I don't want to be a Tiger Woods, I just want to have a good time with girlfriends. I want to have a good time with my workmates. It can be just a treat for yourself, but leave with appreciation.
That's lovely. Tickets and prices, where do people go? How much? Where? How?
Our tickets are on Quicket, but the music part has been sold out as of a couple of days ago this week. Yes, like guys, the demand. Joburg, you came through. Joburg has showed up and showed out, and it is sold out. But for the golf clinic, you can still go to Quicket to get more information.
All right. Thank you so much for that. That's absolutely lovely. It sounds like it's going to be a beautiful afternoon. Pokumete is the event director at Classics on Turf. A little later on in the show, we're going to be giving away tickets. One person is going to be winning 4 tickets. So do stay tuned and be on the lookout for that. I'm excited to give those tickets away. If you don't want those tickets, I'll take them for myself because this sounds like an absolutely amazing event. Thank you so much, Mpo, for your time.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
The Gauteng Premier came on the show to speak about the Amapanyaza. The fact that the Amapanyaza had been disbanded. Well, he said that they were going to be trained in various positions. One of the entities that would be training them would be the Road Traffic Management Corporation, and they could potentially become traffic wardens. Well, it seems as there is a real problem, and that is because the Road Traffic Management Corporation has got some serious problems of its own.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Experience a unique musical journey as the Mzansi National Philharmonic Orchestra presents its national tour, featuring legendary conductor Marin Alsop and homegrown global sensation Abel Selauchwe. The program includes Selauchwe's Four Spirits Cello Concerto, paired with Rachmaninoff's Romantic Symphony No. 2. Concerts take place at the Linda Auditorium on Wednesday the 10th and Thursday the 11th of December. Book your tickets now at Quicket.
Step into a world of unforgettable experiences in Dubai. From luxury beaches to underwater adventures. From authentic traditions to futuristic museums. Make it a Dubai adventure to remember with Emirates. Fly to Dubai from one of 3 gateways in South Africa. Start your holiday the moment you board with delicious regional meals, complimentary drinks, and up to 6,500 channels of entertainment. Fly Emirates, fly better.
At Investec, we not only bank you, we bank your whole family. So wherever you are, they have full access to our services and financial support because their peace of mind is our priority. If you earn 800,000 Rand per annum or more, you may qualify for Investec Private Banking, where you'll enjoy effortless digital capabilities backed by real people who understand you. We'll even switch your account for you. Now that's private banking.
Investec is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider. Investec, out of the ordinary.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
We're going to be going to Eyewitness News in just a bit, but then in the next hour, we're going to be having a conversation on bridging the skills gap for a green hydrogen future. We're also going to be having a conversation on the Human Rights Commission report that addresses systemic issues affecting public school learners. And then a little later in the hour, Your House, Your Home. We talk about Christmas decorations, the laws and regulations.
This is EWN.
Ngabinde's parliamentary testimony cut short due to contradictions, and frustrated artists want the protection of all whistleblowers. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Zamini. Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption has postponed its hearings with Police Ministry Chief of Staff Cedric Nkabinde. MPs are seeking legal advice now due to inaccuracies in Nkabinde's sworn statement. Nkabinde appeared before Parliament's ad hoc committee today, which is looking into allegations of police corruption. The MPs now want him to fix the discrepancies in his submission around the dates and meetings dealings with implicated individuals like controversial businessman Brown Mokhotsi. Babalondenze reports.
Cedric Nkabinde's evidence had focused on his relationship with Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and how he got to know corruption-accused businessman Brown Mokhotsi. He told the committee about when he first made contact with Mokhotsi, leading up to the directive to disband the political killings task team last December. Nkabinde also got his dates wrong on when Minister Mchunu was in Lusikisiki, following the killing of 18 people last year, saying it was in September instead of October. EFF leader Julius Malema accused him of misrepresenting facts.
You completely want to apologize, or to a particular extent even ask that you withdraw this affidavit and go and do a proper affidavit where you remember dates.
Action SA MP Dereline James.
You could have verified these dates. That's the one thing. Secondly, you've given us a sworn statement. You have sworn this morning. You now come and you say you have thumbsuck dates.
But Nkabinde told MPs that his devices were seized over a month ago during a raid at his house, and he had no way of verifying certain dates. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Police in KwaZulu-Natal have revealed that in January this year, an SAPS employee made changes to the criminal record of Stuart Shonik. This week, Shonik accused the police of tarnishing his image. As a result, he laid charges against crime detection boss Dumsani Khumalo. It was after Khumalo listed the criminal record of Shonik, who was a close associate of suspended crime detection head Shadrack Sibiya, while giving evidence at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry recently. KZN Deputy Commissioner for Crime Detection Anthony Gopal says the police system was corrupted to benefit Shonik.
On the 16th of January at 16:58 in the afternoon of that day, a particular employee of the South African Police Services went into the criminal record system and made some adjustments to the benefit of Mr. Stuart Shonik.
Let's stay with the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, which has heard that suspended acting EMPD head Julius Mkhwanazi was willing to die for former Ekurhuleni city manager Imogen Mashazi. This is contained in a video from a 2023 Christmas party where Mkhwanazi publicly announced his allegiance to Mashazi. The video was played before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry today as part of the evidence presented by former Ekurhuleni head of employee relations Xolani Ngciza. Ngciza has testified at length about the political protection that Mkhwanazi enjoyed from Mashazi. Oren Singh reports.
During an Ekurhuleni Christmas event in 2023, suspended acting EMPD head Julius Mkhwanazi is seen singing and dancing with a handful of others alongside former city manager Imogen Mashazi. During the celebration, Mkhwanazi, who is accused of enjoying political protection from Mashazi, can be seen addressing Mashazi and laying down his life for her.
We will die for you. We will take a bullet for you.
Mashazi responds.
Thank you so much. Yes.
The video was presented as evidence before the Madlanga Commission by former Ekurhuleni head of employee relations, Xolani Ngciza. Ngciza explains his understanding of the exchange between the pair.
Mkhwanazi then expresses his gratitude to say, you know what, I will die for you because you not only secured my continued employment in the municipality, but you've also advanced me.
Mkhwanazi is accused of evading disciplinary action, being shielded by Mashazi, despite several criminal findings against him. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
We shift our focus to this now. Artists protesting against alleged corruption at the South African Music Rights Organisation are calling for the protection of all whistleblowers. It follows the suspension of SAMRO's Chief Operations Officer Mpho Mofikwe. According to the artists, Mofikwe was removed from her position after requesting an investigation into SAMRO's alleged governance failures. In a statement, though, SAMRO has refuted these claims, saying Mofikwe was suspended over other internal issues. The artists marched to the SAMRO offices today to deliver a memorandum of demands. Legendary musician Mercy Phakela says they will stand with Mofokwe, who they insist was wrongfully removed.
And as women, we stand by Mpho. Come shine, come blue. We will fight for Mpho to come out clean and go back and represent us in this entity. The entity is our entity. So, the SAMRO, they must do the right thing.
And France is honouring the victims of the deadly Paris terror attacks. On this day 10 years ago, jihadists killed 130 people in shootings and suicide bombings in and around Paris. 2 survivors later took their own lives as a result of the physical and emotional trauma. President Emmanuel Macron visited the sites of the attacks today before presiding over a remembrance ceremony at a memorial garden in central Paris. The sole surviving member of the 10-person jihadist cell that staged the attacks is serving life in prison. Gold is trading at $4,239.48 an ounce. The rand is at 16.96 to the dollar, 22.32 to the pound, 19.71 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $62.71 a barrel.
Mountain View traffic heavily backed up on Eskiam Patlele between Van der Hof and Paul Kruger. If you're leaving Sandton, there's also bumper-to-bumper traffic on Grayston Drive between Rivonia Road and the M1. Sunwood Park, slow-moving traffic due to roadworks. N17 eastbound between Rondebold and Carnival City.
In your sport, the Springboks make 11 changes for Italy test on Saturday. Themba Bavuma says winning in India is the Proteas' top ambition, and Sri Lanka cricket orders their players to stay in Pakistan after bomb blast.
A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers and thundershowers expected. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 14 degrees, peaking at a high of 25. Pretoria 17 and 27 and Vereeniging 14 and 26 degrees. The top story in EWN, the SAHRC Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption has postponed its hearing with Police Ministry Chief of Staff Cedric Nkabinde.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes past 4 right here on 702 Drive. My name is Khomotsa Modisa. I'm in for John Perlman this afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is the second hour of the show, and of course I'm with you until 6 p.m. Quite a bit that's coming in the next hour. We're going to be having a conversation with the Human Rights Commission on that report, raising the alarm on the state of public education. The Commission really points out issues within the schools. They'd interviewed about they interviewed schools and leaders in schools in all 9 provinces. And I'm looking forward to hearing from the Commission, particularly on the challenges that may not be traditionally highlighted. And that doesn't mean those problems are not important, but I do think that the report hones in on some new problems within public schooling. So we'll have that conversation in a bit. And then later on, we speak about in your house, your home feature. It's Christmas time, or the festive season is upon us. Isn't it lovely when the lights come on, especially in malls as well as shopping centers? I love this time of the year. It's just so beautiful. But there are laws, rules, and regulations around that, and you can't just put lights up as you wish. You must know when to put them up, how to put them up. Just as you're going to be putting those lights up in your homes, I'm planning to do the same. I thought it's a good conversation to have around the laws there. A little later in the hour, we'll also be giving tickets away to the Classics on Turf event. Of course, we just had a fantastic conversation with the organizers. It's a mixture, a fusion, a marriage between golf and classical music. And if you'd like to pop in tomorrow, they're at the Killarney Country Club. If you are a golf person, that's great. You can go there and be catered for. But if you're like me and have no idea about anything that has to do with golf and has never touched a golf ball in your life, you can still go. You're going to be trained in that space. So we'll be giving away 4 tickets to 1 lucky listener. So stay tuned.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi 702 family, this is Rose speaking. The one thing that shocked me that I saw in one of my children's books, it was in his Setswana book. I think he was in grade 3, if I'm not mistaken. But they were being taught how to fill in a death certificate. A death certificate. I mean, I thought, we don't even learn to fill in a birth certificate. Now our kids are being taught, like, how many people are going to fill in a death certificate? That shocked me. This was in maybe 2012, 13 or so. But yeah, that really surprised me. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, Karaba. This is Ursula from Rudaport. I think the early education, sex education in school started when the AIDS pandemic was at its scariest, and they were trying to, I suppose, as a desperate measure, curb the spread of it. But just like during hard lockdown COVID, when they banned sanitary towels and mops, I don't think it was very effective, I must say. Thank you.
Thank you for those voice notes. Yeah, look, I can see why the sex education is getting earlier or being taught earlier and earlier, particularly because we live in a time of technology, AI, and the kids are exposed to a lot online. So I understand that, especially when it comes to the curriculum planning and how curriculum planners may feel it needs to be incorporated a little earlier. But the filling of a death certificate?
Sheesh. I mean, the conversation about death in the house already is a difficult one, having to talk to your kid about it. But imagine.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Also, I'm confused why it's taught in the Setswana class.
Cause of death, you have to fill it in. Jeez.
Setswana.
Yeah, well, in any language, that's still difficult.
Yeah, but I'm trying to understand it. Okay, I'm thinking maybe in LO, maybe that because it's a life skill, or in life skills. I wonder if life skills is still a subject. But yeah, I've got many questions about that. Of course, we're talking about the things that are taught in school that shock you. What are some of the things that your children have come home to say to you that you thought, wait a minute, where did you learn that? How do you know about that? And they've picked it up in school, either formally or informally. That's whether it's been taught in class or if it's been learned from their friends and their peers. I'm taking more of your calls on 011 883 0702. If you'd rather send me a WhatsApp, it's 072-702-1702.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out on 45142 now, and you could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Karabo, there's delays leaving the Pretoria CBD?
Yeah, we still have those delays leaving Pretoria CBD. Khomotso, this is in the Mountain View area. Traffic heavily backed up on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Wharf and Paul Kruger. I must say though, it's looking much better than it was 30 minutes ago. It looks like the R80 northbound Mabopane Highway has been reopened to traffic. That's why there's less traffic pressure through there. However, in the Capital Park area, also leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic is also now sluggish on Paul Kruger Road. This is between Boom and this is between Madiba Street and Flower Street. Leaving Sandton, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on Greyston Drive between Rivonia Road and the M1. Calvin Alex area roadwork still causing heavy delays heading towards Germiston. That's on the N3 southbound between the Butlu Interchange and London Road. In Sunwood Park, Boxburg roadworks also causing some delays on the N17 eastbound between Rondebolt and Carnival City. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen can't help you with your leaky tap, but they can ease the traffic congestion so you can get to the hardware store in time to avoid a flood in your bathroom. With the Outsurance pointsmen on the roads for the past 20 years, we can all get where we need to be quickly and safely. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, join them or show them some love online using hashtag pointsmanlove, licensed insurer and FSP.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
These questions, what kind of man are you? What kind of woman are you? Don't do that. If there's nothing else you can take from our experience of 702 and the conversations we have? Let it be that we educate each other, not just about politics and current affairs, but we educate each other about how to be better people and to also accept there's a hell of a lot we just don't know, and that's okay.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Ask yourself, what matters most?
I just want to be there when she takes her first steps.
And still be around for her first dance.
It's knowing I'm not just covered, I'm cared for.
It's having the strength to say I'm back.
It's just knowing Mom will be okay.
It's coming home.
Bonitas goes beyond benefits and claims. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. Voted #1 medical aid in the Ask Africa Orange Index Awards for the 2nd year running. Visit bonitas.co.za and find your plan.
You want a new car, but prices keep climbing, the timing doesn't feel right, the deals are never good enough. Until now. The Motor Select Demo Deal Dash is back this Friday and Saturday only. Get up to 100,000 Rand trade-in assist on over 1,800 demo models across 26 leading brands, all backed by SA's largest and leading dealer network. It's just 2 days. Visit motorselect.co.za to shop our demo range now.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety and service, Warrior Paints is street ahead. Warrior Paints, affordable, lasting, luxury.
You know what success looks like. Now discover why focus is the driving force behind every success story. Catch 702 in conversation with Momentum on The Money Show with Stephen Critters every Wednesday, discussing the science of success. Step into the mindset of top financial achievers and discover how your thinking, behavior, and focus can shape lasting financial success. Don't miss Momentum's Science of Success Festival 2025, streaming live on 14 November. Register now on momentum.co.za. Momentum, your journey to success on 702. Momentum is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
702 Podcast.
On primemediaplus.com.
18 minutes past 4 on the 702 Drive. My name is Khomotsa Modise. I'm in for John Perlman this afternoon. Let's take a look at this story. The Human Rights Commission has released a report raising the alarm on the state of public education. The Commission has interviewed schools or gone to a number of schools in all 9 provinces, and they've compiled this report. Now, the report has, or the commissioners have monitored 150 schools that mainly face historic service delivery issues and are commonly under-resourced. At the beginning of 2025, the Human Rights Commission undertook its monitoring project in all 9 provinces. And joining me for that conversation is a Human Rights Commission Limpopo Provincial Manager, and that is Victor Mavidula. I hope I said that right. Victor, good afternoon and welcome to 702 Drive.
Good afternoon to you and the listeners. Yes, you said it right.
Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start with what some of the key areas of concern that you've identified in this report are.
Is the issue of infrastructure. That is very concerning. And the issue of staff shortage, the issue of nutrition program, and the issue of staff shortage in some of the schools. Yeah, I think those are and the issue of water and sanitation in many schools, more especially in those schools that were visited. I think that those are some of the issues that we have identified during our visits.
Yeah. They sound like historic issues, but they also sound like the issues that we hear quite regularly. Were there any surprises that you came across while you were doing your research?
No, not really. We were not surprised, but we also noted the fact that there is always been a report from different stakeholders, or more especially from the department itself, that there is progress in terms of addressing those issues. Because you remember, I think from 2013, we had been, as the Human Rights Commission, we had been making this call that the department must focus on the infrastructure issues, appointment of educators, the issue of water and sanitation in our school. We've been raising this issue for a long time, so we're not really surprised, but the department seems it's reluctant, or it's not focusing on those issues that we are raising. Hence, we understand that in other areas there are some development, but we are concerned about those areas because our learners, some of them are learning in the classroom, in classrooms where there are no windows, the ceilings are collapsing, the roofs are not there. There are so many issues.
And I suppose, one may wonder, Victor, what the point then of the report was or is, particularly because it highlights the issues that we've known about. These are problems that are recurring. Is it a report to what? To submit to government? What's the point of the report?
Once we issue a report as the Human Rights Commission, you will understand that the respondent is the government. Is the government, Department of Education in particular, that what they need to do is to look at the recommendation that we have made. They look at the recommendation and respond to the recommendation. Like, for example, we have called upon for them to come up with a plan on how they will address all these issues within the time frame. So it means that once they come up with the time frame, with the plan, with the time frame, it means that we can then hold them accountable. But if they don't do that, we still have another powers that we can use. We can subpoena them, and they will come and respond under oath. If they don't want to cooperate with us, we can still go to court to force them. But it must be noted that the Human Rights Commission is not just happy about taking the government to court, because you'll understand when we go to court, we will be using the public funds, the same money that was supposed to be used to save our people. Then all of us will be going to court and fight each other to force the government to do what it's supposed to do without any court order.
Yeah.
So we don't want to go to that route. We believe that the government will be cooperative.
So what do the timelines look like, Victor? When does government have to reply, and how long do they have to respond?
We want them to respond within the next 3 months. Okay. They must respond. If you look at the time frame that they've been given, it's 3 months. It means that it will be gone to the next academic year. And it must also be noted that after this report, it does not mean that the Human Rights Commission is going to take back seat. There are so many other issues that also affect our learners, like overcrowding and all those things. I can't mention all of them now. But the fact of the matter is that every year at the beginning of the at the beginning of the academic year, the Human Rights Commission go all out to monitor the school. The school readiness, because you remember that there was a call by the former Minister of Education that education process or learning processes must start on the first day of the opening of the school. So we always try to measure whether is this target being achieved. Are all schools ready on the first day of the school reopening? But what we have noticed is that some of the schools, you will find that they are not ready. They are still struggling with the scholar transport. They are still struggling with the classrooms being clean and all those things. So we have noted a lot of concern regarding that. But we are still going to go out even in January to make sure that the department take the education of our learners or our children very serious.
All right, Victor, let's leave it there. That's Victor Mavidula, who's the Human Rights Commission Limpopo Provincial Manager. It's an important conversation to have, and we should never be desensitized to the issues that are being faced in private schools. It's very disheartening, however, that these problems persist, and it's the same type of problems.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
So there's a Green Hydrogen Skills Conference happening in Irene and Centurion. It's led by Chemical Industries Education and Training Authority in collaboration with the Higher Education Department. And one of the main questions that's being addressed is how to get young people skilled in the green hydrogen economy. And of course, green hydrogen is a clean energy source, which is an alternative to oil and coal. And joining me for that conversation is Yershin Pillay, who's the CEO of the Chemical Industries Education and Training Authority. Thank you so much for your time, Yoshin. Let's just start with, the fact that the green hydrogen economy falls under what's known as STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. It's a space that we keep hearing needs more young people to enter. Are there more young people showing interest in the green hydrogen economy?
Well, good afternoon to you and to your listeners. And indeed, a very pertinent question, especially with youth unemployment being at a staggering 46.1%. We certainly need to create more opportunities for the unemployed youth. And that's precisely what we're aiming to achieve with our initiative as the Chemical CETA or CHETA in creating new opportunities with the new innovative economy, such as the green hydrogen economy. And some of those opportunities might relate to upskilling and reskilling. For example, we have a significant number of unemployed graduates in the country. And we've seen in other countries how some of our unemployed graduates can be, for example, reskilled or upskilled to be hydrogen systems engineers, and therefore able to work in a hydrogen plant or in hydrogen-related fields. So we expect that the green hydrogen economy can create about 14,000 new jobs, this being artisans, technicians, as well as engineers and various other engineering-related occupations with this new type of economy in the future.
Yeah, and what careers specifically? I mean, I heard you, citing a number of them, listing some of them. But what careers specifically should people be on the lookout for that are looking to enter into the green hydrogen economy?
Well, we'll be starting our collaboration across the entire education value chain, starting with basic education, ensuring that young people take, for example, mathematics and physical science. This enables you to have career pathways that will, for example, take you into our chemical engineering fields or in some of the technicians. But if, for example, one would love to be a gas engineer, we are in high demand for gas engineers currently, and one could also, be employed as a hydrogen systems consultant or project management, which is a very specific type of skill required for hydrogen production or green hydrogen production. So we've identified 17 key skills and 138 new competencies. And this includes 3 new qualifications, one being a green hydrogen technology practitioner, second being a green hydrogen production practitioner, and the third new qualification that we've registered is that of a hydrogen storage and fuel transporter. So these are some of the new qualifications, occupations available for all in this new economy.
All right, Yoshin Pillay, thank you so much for your time. He's the CEO of the Chemical Engineering Industries Engineering Training Authority. They're speaking on the careers within the green hydrogen space. And I hope that it's careers that those who do have young people looking to get into the STEM space are considering.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
So in a bit, I will be giving away some tickets. Of course, Classics on Turf is happening tomorrow in Killarney at the Killarney Country Club. We're giving away 4 tickets to one lucky listener. You're going to have to call and answer this question. I hope you're listening closely. The question is, who is performing at the Classics on Turf concert tomorrow? Who's going to be performing at the Classics on Turf concert? You need to call, so not WhatsApp, but call with your answer. And the number to dial is 011 883 0702.
EWN Business.
Stephen Curtis, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Khomotso. A day to remember on the JSE, I must just say. So the Rand going below 17 Rand to the dollar for the first time since, it was the height of the pandemic, I think, the last time, 2023, I think it was. And that's because of the lower inflation target. It's because of the expectation of where interest rates will be. Also generally a bit of a positive vibe. Gold and platinum also both much higher today. And that pushing the JSE all share past 115,000 at one point today. It's currently up 1.58% at 114,694. Financials up 1.2%. Industrials up 1.8%. Resources up nearly 2% on the day. Really is an astonishing day. Motors is up 5%. Premier is up 3.74%. Naspers 3.71%. MTN rebounding after yesterday up nearly 3.6%. And Anglo Gold 3% as well. The JSE is up 3%. That's after quite a tough time on their own market recently. And Goldfields is up 3%. They had a Capital Markets Day yesterday. They've had a stellar year. Sanlam reporting its net results from financial services were up by 17%. Net operational earnings were up by 14%. And group new business volumes up by 11%. Brait reporting its net asset value was up by 5% for the 6 months to the end of September. More money coming in from its holdings of Virgin Active. I don't know if you go to the gym very often. I'm not going to ask. But they are getting more money from there. Their share price has dropped on the day. So the discount between its share price and its net asset value has increased. ARM are down 2.4%. Kumba's down nearly 2%, and Sasol's down 1.58% on the day. In the US, expectations at Wall Street opening now will open in the red. So the US federal government is open again, but there's a wave of data, dare I say a tsunami, that people are looking to understand the US economy, and they're waiting for that data, and we'll get a sense after that, I think, of how things are looking. The gold price, $4,223.80 an ounce. Platinum, $1,602.24. Brent crude, $63.19. The rand to the dollar, 17.02 now. To the euro, 19.77. To the British pound, 22.41. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Mbali Dlamini is standing by with the latest in EWN. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Khomotso. Good afternoon. A day after Environmental Minister Deon George was axed, Minister in the Presidency Khumbudzo Ntshavheni says he had been articulating views on international platforms that are not in line with Cabinet's position. George undertook his final trip as minister to Brazil this week for the World Climate Change Conference before he was dismissed by President Cyril Ramaphosa last night. Posting on social media today, George said serving as a minister had been an honour. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
DA leader John Steenhuisen says Deon George's refusal to swap the environment portfolio for that of Deputy Minister of Trade resulted in his exit from the executive.
I want to reject out of hand this notion of underperformance that's being peddled.
Today, Minister in the Presidency Khumbudzo Ntshavheni dismissed a draft cabinet statement, which was later retracted, that indicated South Africa's presence at COP30 had been downgraded to observer status. She said the matter had not been discussed at yesterday's meeting.
South Africa will articulate its positions on COP when Cabinet has considered the submission.
Upon inquiry from EWN, the Forestry, Fisheries and Environment Department said the absence of a minister at the COP30 summit does not equate to downgrading the delegation's status or its negotiating capacity. In a social media post, George says he carried out his ministerial duties without fear, favour or prejudice. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The case against a woman accused of ploughing her car into a group of girls at a coming-of-age ceremony in Germiston in June has been postponed to next year. 68-year-old Martha van der Walt appeared in the Germiston Magistrates Court today, where 3 additional charges, including one of murder, were added to her charge sheet. The matter has been postponed to allow the Director of Public Prosecutions to decide on the appropriate forum for the matter to proceed. Thando Ngcobo reports.
Bail has once again been extended for the now murder-accused 68-year-old Martha van der Walt. She now faces charges of attempted murder, and failure to stop after driving through a group of people on top of the initial culpable homicide charge. During proceedings, her lawyer argued that the 3 added charges should not stand, as they ought to have been added with the initial charges filed. However, the prosecution argued that they were still gathering crucial outstanding evidence, including video footage of the incident, which supports the additional charges. Van der Walt will return to Germiston Magistrates Court on the 20th of January 2026. Thando Ngcobo, Eyewitness News.
Let's stay in the courts. Alleged underworld gang boss Nafees Modak has denied using 2 pingers to track the whereabouts of prominent attorney William Booth. Booth survived an attempt on his life at his home in April of 2020. The incident forms part of the 122 charges that Modak and 14 others face in a high-profile trial at the Western Cape High Court. Carlo Peterson reports.
State Prosecutor Greg Wolmerans continued his cross-examination of Nafees Modak today, focusing on the attempted murder of criminal defence attorney William Booth in April 2020. Modak and 4 co-accused face charges of attempted murder related to the incident. Vormerans used evidence of pingless to show co-accused Zain Killian and a former state witness Calvin Rafadi were tracking Booth in September 2019. During his testimony, Rafadi told the court Modak instructed him to ping Booth. However, today Modak denied giving the order.
You contacted Rafadi and you would have asked Rafadi at 17:39 to ping Booth.
It's false.
Vormerans will continue his cross-examination of Modak on Monday. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News, Western Cape High Court.
A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with isolated afternoon showers and thundershowers expected. Lows of between 14 and 17 degrees and highs of between 25 and 27.
City of Tshwane, traffic heavily backed up in Mountain View. That's leaving the Pretoria CBD on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and Paul Kruger. Capital Park still in Pretoria, leaving the CBD traffic sluggish on Paul Kruger between Madiba and Flower Street, and leaving Sandton bumper-to-bumper traffic on Greyston Drive between Rivonia Road and the M1.
The top story in EWN. Minister in the Presidency Khumbudzo Ntshabeni says fired Minister Dion George had been articulating views on international platforms that are not in line with Cabinet's position.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
The minister did say that government is clamping down on the illegal trade, saying that in the last 6 months, SAHRC suspended 3 licenses for non-compliant tobacco production, provided intelligence reports to SAHRC to assist in investigations of criminal syndicates. It's clearly not enough.
Well done to the minister. As you say, it's too little, but at least it starts showing a commitment from government, and that's the first step that's required is political will, and then there are other steps that must also be taken.
Francois van der Merwe is the spokesperson for the South Africa Tobacco Transformation Alliance.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
Classics on Turf is back, where golf and classic music meet in one unforgettable Joburg night. Join 702 at Killarney Country Club on Friday, the 14th November, as Kutlwano Masate leads a full orchestra bursting with energy, color, and rhythm. Sharing the stage, Judith Sepuma brings her velvet voice and unmatched charm to a proudly South African musical celebration. Your ticket includes delicious canapes and welcome drinks, and with a rainproof setup, the show goes on no matter the weather. Book now at quicket.co.za. Classics on Turf is proudly made possible by Telkom and brought to you in partnership with 702.
Hollywood Bets invites you to take the lead. The sizzling summer competition is giving you a chance to bask in horse racing glory and blaze into red-hot rewards. Bet 50 Rand or more on horse racing online or at your nearest branch, and you could win a share of 1 million Rand in prizes. Enjoy a star-studded lineup of equestrian events this summer and settle up for a season of success. Bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for general practitioners, dentists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Kuveni.
It's so nice to know the business risk is taken care of by Business Outsurance. The call center is just a dream to deal with. Very seamless, easy experience, and it just feels like the people we're talking to on the other line understand our needs.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
EWN Sport.
Shalagila Mganga, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Khomotso. Rassie Erasmus says no replacement will be called up for the Bandlua Diarra that during the Springboks outgoing tour. The Boks will return to action on Saturday against Italy, and Erasmus has made 11 changes to the starting 15, including calling up Zachary Porthen and Jean Klein. Erasmus has also shared his thoughts on the opponents, who are on a high, having beaten Australia last time out.
They are really good at the breakdown. We did not just get frustrated, but we got outplayed at the breakdown with their ability. In one game they had 66 bites at the breakdown, just in one game. It just shows they've got a hell of a focus and they technically and know when to do it really well. So that is something that we will try and sort out, which is a tough thing to do.
The Proteas take on India in the first of 2 tests starting tomorrow. Captain Themba Bavuma says the world champions are battle ready to achieve their ambition of winning a test series in India.
I think whenever we go into series, there's a lot more of an expectation for us as a team to, I guess, uphold the whole champion status. Doesn't really change anything from our point of view, but I think from a confidence point of view, it's just a case of us kind of walking proudly with that badge, being known as the champions, the current champions at this point. We have a lovely opportunity now coming up against India in their own conditions. There's not many bigger challenges than that.
Gosinati CBC says everyone is desperate to impress as Bafana gear up for their friendly clash against Zambia on Saturday. The two nations meet at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in what is South Africa's final preparation game ahead of the AFCON 2025 squad announcement.
Yeah, it's always nice playing your neighbors, but for us it's just a matter of continuity, and we know to get momentum, it's always difficult. So we're trying to keep it, within the group, and I think come Saturday, we'll be ready.
And Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, has confirmed that South Africa plans to bid for the 2036 or 2040 Olympic and Paralympic Games. If successful, it'll be the first time the world's biggest sporting event is staged in Africa, and follows on from the country being the first on the continent to host the FIFA World Cup back in 2010. South Africa in continuous dialogue with the IOC, while she's added that significant investment should not be required. That's to improve the country's already available infrastructure. Tola Gilemganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you. Karabo, there are delays in Centurion, aren't there?
Yeah, that's heading into the Pretoria area. That's on the N1 northbound between John Foster and the R21 flying saucer interchange. Also in Waterkloof, that's leaving Pretoria heading towards Midrand. There's slow-moving traffic on the N1 southbound between Linwood Road and Rigel Avenue. Traffic remains congested in the Mountain View area leaving the Pretoria CBD on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Wharf and Paul Kruger. Capital Park also traffic a bit sluggish on Paul Kruger. Capital Park on Paul Kruger between Madiba Street and Flower Street. There's also slow-moving traffic leaving Sandton. This is on Greyston Drive between Rivonia Road and the M1. Calvin Alex area roadworks causing about a 20-minute delay. N3 southbound between the Butler Interchange and London Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Do you want to buy a Honda? Cars.co.za. Toyota or Mahindra? Cars.co.za. Do you want to sell a Cherry? Cars.co.za. Suzuki or Mercedes? Cars.co.za. Polo, Kia, Mitsubishi, Havel, Hyundai, Lamborghini. Buy and sell, it's very easy. All you got to do is type Cars.co.za. 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 Let's find what moves you. Cars.co.za. Cars.co.za.
702 Podcast
on PrimeMediaPlus.com.
It's 16:44 right now on 702 Drive. My name is Khumbudzo Modise. I'm in for John Perlman this afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so did you know that today, November the 13th, is National Hug a Musician Day?
Totally random.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Yes, 100%.
Hug a musician. And we've all been thinking, who's this musician that you would hug? I've been thinking about a musician that I would hug, but I want to hear you first, Karabo.
So there's two. One is Thandiswa Mazwai, because, I don't know, I think she could just give me a nice warm hug.
Yeah.
Even her music feels like you're receiving a hug. It's so soothing, yeah. And then the other one is Brenda Fassie, just because of her character. She felt like somebody who was easily approachable, and welcoming, people's person.
Cool mom,
yes, and funky as well.
I think so, yeah. I like that. Oh, I agree with Thandiswa. She just looks like she gives great hugs, like warm hugs, right? Like she just take you in and just pet you, on the back. I actually like that answer. Tola?
Definitely for me, a local artist would be Simi. I love her music, and she just seems to have like a very nice vibe. And then Java as well. He does seem like he gives good hugs.
He does.
So, personally.
Yeah, because so Java's actually come to the Prime Media building many years ago, and he does. He's very, very tall. So it's those They are very fatherly hugs.
A gentle giant kind of guy. That's what I see.
Like it's going to be okay, you know. For me, I think someone that I wish, a musician that I wish I could have given a hug was SAHRC. I just think, I think she needed someone to hug her and tell her it's going to be okay.
Oh, that's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
But her music also felt like a warm hug, you know?
Yes.
There's so much of her songs where it's just like, it made you feel so fuzzy-wuzzy inside, and I wish that she was still here to give us more music.
Oh.
So that's a musician I wish I could hug, but today is National Hug a Musician Day. So I'm taking your calls and your voice notes on a musician that you would like to hug or that you wish you could have hugged. I think another one maybe is Amy Winehouse.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, her music was definitely soothing.
Right, so warm, but also she also looked like she could use a hug.
She needed it, yeah.
Yeah, like you could say to her,
Oh,
you know,
shame.
"Utaba sharp." Yeah. So 011-883-0702, 0772 702 1702.
702.
Call us on 011 883 0702.
So it's competition time. I'm giving away tickets for that event. It's Classics on Turf, and it's at the Killarney Country Club tomorrow. Such a cool event. It's a fusion between golf and classical music. There's going to be a full orchestra, and Judith Supuma, who's absolutely amazing, who's going to be performing there. And we're giving away 4 tickets, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 tickets to one lucky listener. And I think we've got a listener on the line who has made it. Diani in Sandton. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Komodo. Thank you.
All right. I hope you've got the answer because we want to give you these tickets.
I hope so too.
The question, Diani, is who is performing at the Classics on Turf?
It's Sitwano Masote with the orchestra featuring Judith Supuma.
Well done. Yes, that's correct. Listen, you even had more detail. I would have been okay with just Judith Supuma, but because you are that girl, you're an overachiever.
Yeah.
That's why you get not 1 ticket, but you get 4.
Oh, thank you.
Are you a golfer, Diane?
Sort of.
What does that
I'm
mean?
actually a member at Killarney.
Oh, lovely.
Sometimes a golfer.
Okay, so you're gonna have a lot of fun. I wish you have all the fun. Who are you gonna be with? Who are you taking? Who are the 3 people you're taking?
I'm still thinking about it. Could be my sister. If she's listening, I'm gonna go with her. If she's not, I'll take my friends.
All right. You need to hurry because it's tomorrow, girl. They need to get their outfits ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Congratulations, Diani.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. That's Diani in Sandton, our lucky listener who's going to be going to Classics on Turf. That is that event, beautiful event where there's going to be classical music as well as golfing at the Killarney Country Club. And if you would still like to go, unfortunately, there are no tickets to the musical part of the event, which is later in the afternoon. But if you are interested in golf, want to learn about golfing, or if you are a seasoned young Tiger Woods, listen, you can go and buy those tickets on Quicket. It's going to be a fantastic event, and I think you'll have a lot of fun.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
16:49 right here on 702 Drive. And let's move to the stories. It's time for Your House, Your Home, which is a feature that we have on the show. And I was saying a little earlier that it is that time of the year. It's the festive season. The lights are out and they're absolutely beautiful. I'm a big fan of the lights. I love this time of the year. In fact, I go looking out for shopping centers where they have proper Christmas lights. There is one shopping center not far from my house, and they have what looks like Christmas lights all year round. They're the white lights, which are just so stunning. So I go there quite a bit because I like how Christmas lights make me feel, right? As they say, it's the most wonderful time of the year. But there are laws and regulations around the mounting and putting up of Christmas lights, and you can't just do as you please. So here for that conversation is Marina Constas. Marina Constas, who is a specialist sectional title lawyer at BBM. Marina, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming onto the show. Oftentimes we see the lights go up and sometimes they're very, very bright. And we've been wondering whether there are laws and regulations around the mounting and putting up of Christmas lights. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Komotso. So we're talking about sectional title and community schemes, just in terms of the lighting and Christmas decorations. If you live in a suburb where you're in a freehold home, there are no bylaws specifically talking about Christmas decorations. So those bylaws would look at things like whether or not there's safety concerns, if it's going to be a nuisance, if the lighting is too bright, or if the signage is unsightly. So that's that side of things. But if you live in a complex or a homeowners association, then there are definitely laws and regulations, and certainly the Sectional Titles Act looks at those kind of schemes. So if you live in your own section, for example, if you're in a sectional title scheme and you're in your own unit and you want to put Christmas lights and do decorations inside, all good. As soon as you start going out onto common property and you want to put things up in the gardens or in the lobbies or at the clubhouse because you think it's going to look lovely and you're just an owner, you definitely need the consent of the trustees to do that before you even start looking at that kind of thing. Even balconies, if you put something up on your balcony in a scheme, it can't be dangerous or it can't be inharmonious or really look terrible or unsightly because, for what is lovely to me might be tacky to you. So you need to look at that. But of course, you've also got to look at damage to the property. You won't be able to drill or damage or, the paint or the plaster off walls. And for me, I think I must tell you, the lighting, when you talk about enjoying the lights, I see the sectional title landmines when you talk about that because lighting is so, it can be dangerous. It's a fire hazard and you've got to be careful. Even in one complex we had, I can tell you a story where there was an extension cord from the lights during the Christmas decoration time. Sure. And one of the owners tripped over it and sued the body corporate for that because he was really badly injured. And of course, your public liability can kick in. But if there's really gross negligence on the part of the body corporate, that won't cover you. So, keep the walkways clear. This is the kind of advice that we need to be giving our trustees and even directors in homeowners associations.
So if you live, in a standalone property, just an ordinary house somewhere, you can put up the lights as you wish?
You can do whatever you like in your own garden. Obviously, pavements need to be, you can't be obstructing pedestrians walking across pavements. And that's all based, again, on noise, nuisance, and that type of thing. I think also freehold's a little bit freer. You can do what you want. If you want to make it really like a religious thing, you can do that. Whereas, again, in complexes, you've got to look at, inclusivity. Not everybody celebrates Christmas in that kind of community scheme. So it's probably the best advice is to make the decorations more sort of festive and seasonal rather than religious symbolism, and also people must take their decorations down within a reasonable time. We had a complaint in a suburb about that as well. Someone really loved their Christmas lights, so they kept them up till sort of end of February. I don't think that's okay.
I'm coming there because that's me. I think I'd be that culprit. I love the Christmas lights and I think I'd want to keep them on for as long as possible. But before we go there, maybe are there issues around how bright they should be? I can imagine, on a private property, people driving on the roads and, you're driving in the night and the lights and some of them are flashing also. And I can imagine that people might have issues with it, even though it's on a private property.
Yeah, definitely. People are certainly entitled to, again, this peaceful and undisturbed possession of their property. So now if we talk neighbors and the lights are shining in their house, the neighbors would definitely have some recourse to say that it's unreasonably bright. It's not, it's got to be unreasonable because some people might be a bit subjective and think, well, that light's terribly bright, but to me it actually just looks pretty and sparkly. If it's going to create trouble for pedestrians or even motorists driving past, then again, there will be recourse. You can't really just do whatever you like without thinking about or taking into account people around you. And that's in freehold, that's in our suburbs, that's in our estates, in our schemes, and certainly in our sectional title complexes. There are always going to be some sort of limitation on your right to sparkle, I would say.
Yeah. Let's talk about those times and what's too early, what's too long, what's too late. I mean, you start seeing some of these lights in shopping complexes and malls as early as the end of October, which I think is a little too early. And then you can see them still being up all the way until the end of Feb, as you said. So can I put them up now? Can I put my lights up now? And when should they be down by, just reasonably?
Well, I suppose there's nothing stopping you from putting up your lights now. I know most people start towards the beginning of December. In terms of the complexes that I deal with, I go up in December, 1st of December, and then come down probably middle January. I think that's generally the thing. But again, there's no real restriction from a legal point of view. I think it might be something that needs to be looked at by the trustees in a complex and, individuals. Unfortunately, it will be left up to individuals. But yeah, there's nothing from a legal perspective that would regulate that.
Yeah. And I'd imagine in some complexes and estates, you might run the risk of being fined if they find you in the wrong.
Yeah, well, fines, the Community Scheme Ombud Service has sent out a consolidated set of directives for rules, undesirable rules in sectional title. And the fining of people in complexes has taken sort of front and center of those directives, where the Ombud Service is saying you can fine in sectional title complexes and even in community schemes, but those fines need to be set out. So, you would have to set out the specifics of those fines and the amount of those fines. And they would have to be dealt with at every AGM so that you keep up with the amount, and they can't be more than the levies per month. So if you are causing a problem and you've got signage up which you shouldn't be allowed for an unreasonable time, I'm sure that if the clause in the rules is correct, then they, you'd be able to go on to find those people.
Marina Konstas, thank you so much for your time. Thanks. She's a specialist sectional title lawyer at BBM Law, helping us make sense of what the rules, the laws and regulations look like around your Christmas lights. I do hope that this won't deter you from putting lights up, but just it ensures that you are within the law and that you are protected as we go into the festive season.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
Just more than 15 months into the Government of National Unity, the DA is making the first changes to its executive lineup of 6 ministers and 6 deputy ministers. Leader John Steenhuisen says there was no malicious intent behind Dion George's removal.
Like any organisation and any government in the world, you assess how things are going and you obviously try and move people around to make sure you're getting the maximum benefit of that.
EWN. In touch, in tune, and independent.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 Rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS LEGAL to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The joy of what if we just let it go to voicemail. The joy of what if we skipped the flight for a front row seat to the open road. The joy of what if the wrong turn took us the right way. The joy of what if we didn't share this view and kept it our secret. the joy of what if not being there yet was the best part. Choose the joy of what if with BMW.
This is EWN.
KZN police say Sharnik put himself in the criminal record spotlight, and Parliament wants Nkabinde to relook his submissions. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Police in KwaZulu-Natal say Stuart Sharnik opened a can of worms when he made public the claims around his criminal record. Sharnik, who is a close associate of suspended crime detection head Shadrack Sibia, accused the police of tarnishing his reputation. This came after crime intelligence boss Dumsani Khumalo listed his criminal history at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Today, the KZN Police's top brass briefed the media, saying in its probe of the claims made by Sharnik, more concerning details emerged. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
Police in KwaZulu-Natal say Stuart Sharnik is now the subject of an investigation. They say his claims that crime intelligence head Dumsani Khumalo tarnished his image prompted them to look into his criminal history. This led to findings that his criminal record on the subsystem was tampered with. KZN Deputy Commissioner for Crime Detection, Anthony Gopal.
What alarmed us is that these cases are in KZN. General Khumalo is not here. Lieutenant General Khumalo doesn't work in KZN. He works there, but he knows, and he's talking about our KZN cases. Mr. Sharnik, as if we are non-existent KZN, he talks about it there. So that's what informs us to go and look for these cases, and we draw these case dockers.
Gopal added that their probe has various elements.
As I said to you, in part of the looking into Mr. Sharnik's profile, as I said, we picked up a lot of other things.
Sharnik's criminal history also includes possession of firearms and carjackings. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
Former Ekurhuleni head of employee relations, Xolani Ngciza, has painted the city of Ekurhuleni as a municipality rooted in corruption, irregularities and no regard for the law. Ngciza concluded his two-day testimony before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry today. Ngciza's testimony centered around allegations of political interference and nepotism within the city. Oren Singh has more.
Elements of criminality, fraudulent and unlawful agreements and instances of gross misconduct within the city of Ekurhuleni formed the crux of Xolani Ngciza's testimony before the Madlanga Commission. The former Ekurhuleni head of employee relations' testimony centered around the suspended acting EMPD head Julius Mkonazi and ex-city manager Imogen Mashazi. Ngciza accused Mashazi of shielding Mkonazi against disciplinary action after he was found to have struck an unlawful deal between EMPD and tender tycoon Vusi Muzikat Matlala.
There is a point where there were such gross allegations that were made about corruption, tender irregularities, and all sorts of things. At no point whatsoever has the municipality ever commissioned a forensic investigation.
Ngciza was dismissed in 2023 after pursuing disciplinary action against Mkonazi. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption has postponed its hearing with Police Ministry Chief of Staff Cedric Nkabinde. MPs are seeking legal advice due to inaccuracies in Nkabinde's sworn statement. Nkabinde appeared before Parliament's ad hoc committee today, which is looking into allegations of police corruption. The MPs now want him to fix the discrepancies in his submission around the dates and meetings with implicated individuals like controversial businessman Brown Mukhotsi. Babalondenze reports.
Cedric Nkabinde's evidence had focused on his relationship with Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and how he got to know corruption-accused businessman Brown Mukhotsi. He told the committee about when he first made contact with Mukhotsi, leading up to the directive to disband the political killings task team last December. Nkabinde also got his date wrong on when Minister Mchunu was in Lusikisiki, following the killing of 18 people last year, saying it was in September instead of October. EFF leader Julius Malema accused him of misrepresenting facts.
You completely want to apologize or to a particular extent even ask that you withdraw this affidavit and go and do a proper affidavit where you remember dates.
Action SA MP Dereline James.
You could have verified these dates. That's the one thing. Secondly, you've given us a sworn statement. You have sworn this morning. You now come and you say you have thumb-sucked dates.
But Nkabinde told MPs that his devices were seized over a month ago during a raid at his house and he had no way of verifying certain dates. Babalo Ndenza, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
We shift our focus to this now. Prominent Zimbabwean politician Job Sikhala says he will allow South Africa's judiciary to determine the truth regarding allegations that he was transporting explosives. Sikhala was released on 10,000 rand bail by the Pretoria Magistrates Court today following his arrest last week. Police found explosives in his vehicle while he was driving in the capital city, Alpha Ramashwana reports.
After spending nearly a week behind bars, prominent Zimbabwean politician Job Sikhala was greeted by dozens of supporters who gathered outside the courthouse following his release on bail. Although visibly relieved to have regained his freedom, Sikhala appeared less receptive when approached by members of the media. The only remark he made regarding his release was that he would allow the South African judiciary to do its work.
You know what? The legal practitioners have asked me not to comment on anything. So I think we have seen the proceedings that have happened in court. We always believed that South Africa has an independent judiciary. Here there is no fedja things.
The matter has been postponed to February next year for further investigations. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And Spanish authorities say they have dismantled a human trafficking organization smuggling children from the Canary Islands to France. The 11 arrested suspects face charges including document forgery, child abduction, involvement in a criminal organization and child pornography. An investigation was launched after 14 minors went missing from youth care centers. The probe then uncovered a well-organized network with logistics in Morocco, Ivory Coast and facilities in Spain. Police are still searching for the missing children. Gold is trading at $4,239.48 an ounce. The rand is at 16.96 to the dollar, 22.32 to the pound, 19.71 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $62.71 a barrel.
There's slow-moving traffic in Midrand heading towards Sandton. That's the N1 southbound between Ellendale and the Butlu interchange, while in Centurion, traveling towards Pretoria, there's also traffic pressure on the N1 northbound between John Foster and the R21 Flying Saucer interchange. Waterkloof traffic congested traveling towards Midrand, N1 south between Linwood Road and Rigel Avenue.
In your sport, the Springboks ring changes for Italy clash. Nigeria squad call off their boycott over unpaid bonuses, and organisers confirm that the 2028 LA Olympics will kick off with the women's 100-meter final.
A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. Joburg dropping to overnight lows of 14 degrees, peaking at a high of 25. Pretoria 17 and 27 and Vereeniging 14 and 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, police in KZN say Stuart Sharnick opened a can of worms when he made public claims around his criminal record.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7.
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of 702 Drive with me, Khomotso Modise. I'm in for John Perlman this afternoon. It's 9 minutes past 5, and then in the next hour, we're going to be dealing with a lot of Mkhwanazi/Madlanga related stories. I'm looking at the television, and both stories are on the screen. Number one, in Parliament, as you heard in EWN, the ad hoc committee has had to adjourn to allow the Chief of Staff, the former SAPS Chief of Staff, Cedric Nkabinde, to go sort out his version, because it seems what he's been saying while he's been testifying differs from what's in his statement. And of course, we know that there's been that press briefing in KZN where General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has been addressing allegations that have been made by the bodyguard of General Shadrack Sibiya, that is Stuart Sharnick. We're going to have both stories in the next hour, and these are stories that are important. They both linked to what's been happening in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. In Cape Town, however, happening as we speak, the EFF is going to open criminal charges against against Cedric Nkabinde. So we'll take you there in just a bit.
EWN Traffic.
Karabo, good afternoon. I think there's delays in Midrand.
Yeah, we have delays in Midrand heading towards Sandton. That's due to a stationary truck. I understand from a listener calling the traffic desk saying there's a stationary truck near the Between interchange, and this is causing some delays all the way from Allendale. That's the N1 South. In Calvin, also roadworks causing some delays on the N3 southbound between the Between interchange and London Road, while in Croydon, Kempton Park, expect some delays. This is on the R24 eastbound between Barbara Road and the R21. Sunwood Park, also roadworks causing about a 30-minute delay heading towards Brakpan. N17 eastbound between Rondebolt and Carnival City. Centurion, there's traffic pressure. N1 North between John Foster and the R21 Flying Saucer interchange. Still in Tshwane, Waterkloof, traffic is congested. N1 South between Linwood Road and Rigel Avenue. There's also bumper traffic in the Mountain View area. That's leaving the Pretoria CBD on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and Paul Kruger. And finally, Capital Park, leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic remains sluggish on Paul Kruger between Madiba and Flower Street. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Let's head to Cape Town now, where I can see there is movement at a police station after the events that we saw today in Parliament. So, the ad hoc committee that is hearing testimony on the allegations of corruption within the police had testimony today from Cedric Nkabinde, who's the former chief of staff of Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. Nkabinde has been testifying, but the parliamentarians have pointed out that there are inconsistencies in his version, and what he's been saying on the stand, he has not been saying or had not said in his statement. Joining us for more on that story is EWN parliamentary reporter Babalo Ndenze, who's been following it this afternoon, and he's also following the EFF this afternoon. Babalo, thank you so much for your time. Let's start with what's been happening in Parliament. It seems Nkabinde has been inconsistent in the version that he's been giving.
Yes, indeed, Famosa. He's been inconsistent. The members of the committee pointing out these discrepancies in his sworn statement, as well as his oral evidence today, especially around dates on when he first made contact with Brown Mokhotsi, as well as another key date that's in his statement on when Minister Senzo Mchunu went to Lusikisiki last year, where these 18 family members were murdered at a tragic event there, which was in October, but he says it was in September. So these small errors, one would put it, in his statement, members are not, that doesn't sit well with a lot of the members, ANC, EFF, MK Party, all basically telling the committee that they can't continue today with his testimony. He needs to go fix his sworn statement and come back and make another sworn statement with accurate figures. And he should also get another oath, be able to, give another oath before the process can continue. The chairperson, Sovet Lechanyane, was not supportive of this position. He was insisting that they carry on. They just fix the mistakes that they can figure out. Norman Aronson, the evidence leader, also saying that let's just fix the errors and continue with the evidence. But the members, majority of them, agreed that they should postpone and defer his hearing to a further date while they sort out these matters. But Nkabinde himself telling the committee that, the reason that I'm not accurate with my dates, please forgive me, members, but my devices were seized about a month ago at his house in Johannesburg when his house was seized, as well as Senzo Mchunu's private property was raided by the police. So he says all these dates and all these exact dates and and figures and exactly who he met with are contained in these devices. So he was at a disadvantage. And this is one of the reasons the members are saying that this should be postponed, because he's claiming to be disadvantaged. So he should basically go back and try to get this information from his devices where possible, and then come back to the committee at a later date, still this month, because the committee is expected to wrap up its hearings on November the 28th. but Cedric Nkabinde will come back either before then or at a later date when the committee does get an extension, from the Speaker of Parliament.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Babalo, but it seems the committee members and members of parliament are being a lot more strict on Nkabinde. I mean, we've heard from other people that have been testifying, like Bheki Cele, saying that, I don't remember that, or I may be wrong. And I felt that they were pretty lenient when, some people would get the dates wrong here and there. But with Nkabinde, it seems they're being very, very strict. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, they seem to be quite strict on Nkabinde. He is a key witness, so they want everything related to Nkabinde, to be 100% perfect. And, Ashley Souls from the Patriotic Alliance did point this out, because Bheki Cele and Ntletlem Khwanazi actually retracted his earlier statement that Vusi Matlala gave, Bheki Cele some money for whatever reason, and he did apologize to Bheki Cele at some point, and the committee accepted his apology, but he will come back at a later date and Ntletlem Khwanazi to further formalize his retraction before the committee. But they were quite lenient on other members who didn't remember dates or didn't quite remember, events previously. So they were quite hard and tough on Nkabinde, and they say this because he is, after all, the Chief of Staff to Minister Senzo Mchunu, who is basically accused number one in this matter. So, but they have been quite lenient on previous witnesses like Bheki Cele as well as Ntletlem Khwanazi when it came to discrepancies or inaccuracies in their submissions.
Yeah, I've been seeing headlines here, quotes of members of parliament as well as members of that committee saying he's lying, which is pretty strong. Babalo, the EFF is taking this so seriously that they're going to open a charge of perjury against him?
Yes, and that's exactly where we are at the moment. They are inside the police station. This is the central police station in Cape Town. It's the same police station where, charges were laid against other people that are implicated in this matter. And the EFF is saying that he misled Parliament. It was a misrepresentation of facts, and it's basically misleading Parliament, and it's perjury. So they've come to lay a formal complaint against Nkabinde, and they want this process today, and they will be addressing the media shortly after they've formally laid these charges or this complaint. But it might also be quite tricky, Khomoto, because if you remember, Lisa Schikkeling of the DA also laid a complaint against, implicated individuals like Senzo Mchunu, and she was found to be conflicted when it was, Mchunu's time to give evidence, and she had to recuse herself from the committee. But it's Leanne Matthys, who's a member of the committee, as well as the EFF's Treasurer General, Ompi Mautwe, who are laying the charges, and not Julius Malema, who's the full member of the committee. So, as far as that conflict is concerned, on whether they can continue to put questions to Nkabinde when he does return, we'll be putting that to the EFF and reminding them that, certain members of the DA have been asked to recuse themselves because of the complaint that they made earlier this year before the committee even started its business. So we're just waiting on that to happen now, and it will be happening any minute now, Khomoto, to get a clearer picture on what the issue is with the EFF and whether they are, or whether they will accept the fact that, there might be a conflict when it comes to laying charges against a key witness.
All right, Baba Lundenze, let's let you go there as you keep an eye on those events at the police station in Cape Town. It's really interesting for me because I don't understand why, members of parliament and members of this committee are being so strict, particularly on Cedric Nkabinde. We've been hearing so many witnesses come there uncertain about dates, saying they don't know, saying they don't remember, saying they can't put their finger on details, but they're very, very strict with Cedric Nkabinde. You may remember that Cedric Nkabinde had his own press briefing where he had called members of the media. He'd called a press briefing to address the media on his devices being taken. This was on the day where there were reports that there was going to be the arrest of Shadrack Sibiya, who is the crime detection boss, suspended crime detection boss. But Nkabinde came out with that press briefing, gave a version already. And, as I said a little earlier, once you give a version in a press briefing, then people listen to that version, and then you want to come into parliament and give a different version, and then they look at your statement and there's a different version. It doesn't end well, and I think that's what's happening currently in parliament. So Baba Lundenze will keep us updated on what happens there.
702 Podcast
on PrimeMediaPlus.com.
So something else that what's been happening regarding General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is a press briefing that was happening in Durban today. And of course, we were all waiting to see whether it would be as explosive as July the 6th, that press briefing that has really changed our country. That is, I mean, things just will never be the same after July the 6th. But someone who's been following that press briefing by KZN police top brass is Nhlanhla Mabaso, EWN reporter, and he joins us now on the line. Nhlanhla, thank you so much for your time. Maybe just give us the key pointers. I know that this press briefing has got to do with Stuart Shark, who is the bodyguard of General Shadrack Sibiya. But just help us understand what was said and what it all means.
Well, Khomotso, the briefing took place at the provincial headquarters here in KwaZulu-Natal. That is the same media room where that explosive 6 July briefing took place by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. But this time around, it was the Deputy Provincial Commissioner responsible for crime detection, and he's currently acting. He's actually the District Commissioner of Wateguza, but he's now in charge of the detectives in the province. He says they did not take kind as the police to Stuart Sharnick's utterances when he went and opened a case yesterday against crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo, where he also says that Khumalo tarnished his image by listing the history of his criminal record in that commission of inquiry, the Mandanga Commission of Inquiry, probing those allegations of political interference into the police. Well, they say his utterances that he dented his image. They also say that any action against Khumalo is an action to the South African Police Service. That's what made them to act and actually looked into the system. They say they found what they described as rather shocking revelations. They say, Khomotso, in January this year, an employee of the South African Police Service tampered with his record on the system, meaning that he altered or made some changes to it. Little that employee did she or he know that there's a backup system that is able to show that this is what happened to the system in the front side, although that person may not have now access to the system on the back side. They say they can confirm this with confidence, which then also pushed them to now institute what they say are investigations into Sharnick now. They say that they're probing as to how did he get cleared on so many charges. You recall there was a lot of issues of carjacking. You recall that he himself had said that while he admits he was convicted, he was not convicted on carjacking. The question by General Gopol is how, and they say that they have raised this with crime detention at national level to actually look at the system. But most interestingly now, they say they won't just be looking into him. They want to see how many other cases were people able to get away from because someone in the inside managed to make some alterations or changes into that system.
Sure. So, I mean, was this just prompted by the decision or by the move by Stuart Sharnick to go and open those charges against Dumisani Khumalo?
In the words of General Gopol, thank you, Mr. Sharnick, for actually coming out and saying this, because whatever you said about us denting your image then prompted us to go and look into the system, because General close quote, and because according to General Gopol, he says it cannot be that he is accusing the police of denting his image. He then put the question to members of the media to say, if a person has such a history of a criminal record, who would you say dented his image in this regard? Isn't it dented already? Well, of course, none of us answered, but he then said also that when asked by members of the media to say, where did this happen? Was it here in KZN? Was it at a national level? And also, why are they only picking it now if it happened in January? It's almost December. That means it's almost a year since that happened. They say, well, they admitted that they had no clue that such had happened until he went out in the media. This takes us back to what General Mkhwanazi said to members of parliament when he appeared before Parliament's out of committee, saying that honorable members, do this again, go to the media and speak things, and then I'll come back with evidence. This time around, we are seeing the exact same thing with Mr. Sharnick, who went out and spoke to the media, rightfully so, because it is right after all, Khumutso. But the police say, much as he then went and detailed what he detailed, some of what he said there then prompted them to go and dig. They say, well, you've sent us, we came back with this. So they're raising those concerns to say if it really happened. And then a question was put as to where did this happen. They then said at a national level. That's crime detention for you. Again, it raises eyebrows given the fact that he's got close ties with the suspended crime detention boss, that's General Shadrack Sibia. And then the police now in the province, they say they will now look into other aspects. They've also questioned his, there's a video trending that the police have also shared of him having a rifle. They say when they look into the system, it shows that when he applied for the firearm license, there was in the motivation, it says that it was also for sporting purposes. So they're now going to look at that to say, did he acquire that license in the right way? So they were saying a lot of things about his history and this issue of firearms. But of course, police saying that they will also, be communicating as time goes as to what's happening. But mainly, they say they will be asking the National Office of the Police to look into that criminal record system.
So, Nhlanhla, what happens now?
What happens now, according to General Gopal, is that they carry investigations now. While there are these cases that were so many that Shani got, while having admitted that yes, he was convicted and that now he faces none, the investigation now shifts from what those cases were to who and how did this transaction happen. We even asked General Gopal to say, how do you then ensure going forward that something like this doesn't happen again? He says, well, when people outside the system want to have something that will benefit them in the police, they'll always find a person or somebody or some people that will assist them to ensure that they corrupt the system. He then says that they will be looking into who, how, but he did mention that the person involved will be dealt with internally. But they will then be looking at who else, like I've mentioned, Khumutso got assisted, because what he's raising concerns about the fact that their detectives and the crime detection process saying their detectives are working so hard to ensure that these people are arrested and go to court. But when they get to court, they are never convicted, arrested, because there's someone within the service or some people who are assisting them. So from now, he says the investigation shift on who. And if he is a syndicate inside, then who is running that? And they're looking at that as we speak, from what he said.
Sure, it keeps getting messier and messier. Nhlanhla Mabaso, EWN reporter, covering that story for us in KZN. KZN police top brass addressing the media on Stuart Sharnik. And of course, this was after Sharnik came forward and started speaking. He was on a bit of a media tour last week, was it? Where he was, addressing the allegations that had been made by General Dumisani Khumalo against him at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. He came forward. He wanted to set the record straight. Yesterday, he went to open defamation charges, and now here we are, and his past is being unearthed. And I just keep thinking, what more? How much more is going to be coming out from all of this? Of course, I do think that there is more that needs to come out. I can tell you now that it does seem like we're not at the end of this barrel. How much and what it is, I don't know. We have to wait and see.
EWN Business.
Stephen Kratos, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's just so much. Okay, very nice, strong day on the JSE. Rand below 17 Rand to the dollar again. So all in all, very positive. In the M, the All Share just ending up 1%. Thought it would be higher than that at 114,046 points. Was above 115,000 earlier today. Financials up 1.3%. Industrials up 1.4%. Resources up 0.34%. Resources have come back a bit. Obviously, the decision yesterday, the announcement around the inflation target, I think helping certain shares. There's been a week of good news, if you like, Khumotso. And I can't remember the last time I said that about the South African economy. But lower unemployment figures, an inflation target reduction, a bit more money in the system, sort of plans laid out yesterday, the fact it happened yesterday, all of those things, generally speaking, are quite positive. Also today, Sanlam reporting its net results from financial services up by 17%, while net operational earnings were up by 14%, and Brait reporting its net asset value was up by 5% for the a 6-week period for the 6-month period. Their net asset value, their discount between that and their share price has actually increased again as a result. And then announcements from Old Mutual that Saul Abraham is now going to be the CEO designate at Old Mutual Insure, and Ranin Tukuduran is going to be the Group Chief Risk Officer of Old Mutual. So big announcements coming through there. The Foschini Group ending the day up 4.43%, Motors up 4.2%, MTN up 3.8%, and the Premier Group up 3.83%, while First Rand is up 3% on the day as well. ASP Isotopes down 4%, but no surprise, they're up 20% earlier in the week. And ARM are down 3.69% on the day. In the US, so the US federal government is open again, and that is good news for investors. But there's a lot of data sort of waiting in the wings, people waiting to see what that's going to say. The Dow Jones is down 0.07, the NASDAQ is down 1%, the S&P 500 is down 0.6%. The gold price higher again today, $4,199.45, platinum $1,591.26, Brent crude $63.23. And the rand to the dollar, call it 16.99 to the euro, 19.76 to the British pound, 22.40. On the Money Show tonight, we'll speak to Mike Fraser, the CEO at Goldfields. They're having a good time. We will also speak to the CEO at Discovery Bank, Hilton Kellner. Basically, they are going to allow you to trade in cryptocurrency straight from the banking app. They're also, I was fascinated by this, they're going to have a take a pause feature. So if, for example, Stephen's always been buying, as one should, Mamelodi Sundowns kit, and suddenly there's a transaction from Kaizer Chiefs, why anyone would do that, it will flash and say, whoa, what are you doing? Are you sure you want to do this? And basically make you sort of take a second. So it'll use, of course, AI to do all of that. But the idea of a take a pause feature is very, very interesting, just to sort of say, hold on, what's going on here? And then in investment school, why you should invest in insurance, or at times shouldn't. Stephen Grootes, EWN Business.
Sure. Thank you, Stephen. Looking forward to the Money Show a little later. All right, it is a minute after 5:30, and Mbani Lamini is standing by.
Thanks, Khomotso. Good afternoon. Western Cape Premier Alan Winde has released the long-awaited police ombudsman report into alleged gang infiltration within the province's police management. The report was commissioned in 2022 by Western Cape Police Ombudsman Oswald Reddy. It followed a High Court ruling by High Court Judge Daniel Tulare suggesting that members of the 28th gang may have influenced senior South African Police Service officials. Ntutuzelwa Nene reports.
Premier Alan Winde has faced criticism from a number of civil groups for sitting on the findings of the report amid ongoing gun and gang violence in Cape Town. Winde says over the past 3 years, his government has fought to have this matter properly investigated, with those found guilty to be prosecuted and locked away. However, the Premier says their efforts have been obstructed by the slow progress of the SAPS and police watchdog IPID's investigations into Judge Tulare's comments. Winde adds that he has been reluctant to release the report to demonstrate good faith with the SAPS and IPID and to protect those involved in the investigation.
The necessity of the latter consideration can be in no doubt, as the original matter heard by Judge Tulare, no fewer than 3 witnesses had already been murdered.
He adds that it's for this reason that the relevant identities have been redacted in the report. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says speeding up the construction of schools is critical to achieving quality education. He has been speaking at the National Construction Summit taking place in Boksburg. The 2-day summit has brought together government officials as well as labour and business partners. It comes just a day after the South African Human Rights Commission released a report saying government is still failing children in public schools when it comes to access to quality education. Jabuli Lembata has more.
Many gathered at the construction summit are in agreement that infrastructure is key to economic growth as it presents opportunities in job creation and transformation. Speaking at the summit, President Cyril Ramaphosa says in order to reduce inequality, learners need classrooms, sanitation facilities, and safe learning environments.
We are here also so that we can build a country where there are enough classrooms for all the children of our country.
He adds that dignity of learners must be restored,
where no child has to swim across a river to get to school. Is what we are here about, to build bridges so that our children can cross rivers to go to school in a safe manner.
The president says the idea also presents a business opportunity. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News.
And artists protesting against alleged corruption at the South African Music Rights Organisation are calling for the protection of all whistleblowers. The call follows the suspension of SAHRC's Chief Operations Officer, Mpho Mofokeng. According to the artists, Mofokeng was removed from her position after requesting an investigation into SAHRC's alleged governance failures. In a statement, though, SAHRC has refuted these claims, saying Mofokeng was suspended over other internal issues. The artists marched to the SAHRC offices today to deliver a memorandum of demands. Legendary musician Mercy Phakela was amongst them, and she says they will stand with Mofokeng, who they insist was wrongfully removed.
And as women, we stand by Mpho. Come shine, come blue. We will fight for Mpho to come out clean and go back and represent us in this entity. The entity is our entity. So, Isambro, they must do the right thing.
A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow, with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. Lows of between 14 and 17 degrees and highs of between 25 and 27.
Centurion traffic pressure N1 northbound between John Foster and the R21 Flying Saucer interchange, while in Croydon, Kempton Park also expect delays. This is on the R24 in both directions between Barbara and the R21 due to roadworks. Calvin also roadworks slowing down traffic. N3 south between the Butler interchange and London Road.
The top story in EWN, Western Cape Premier Alan Winde has released the long-awaited police ombudsman report into alleged gang infiltration within the province's police management.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Piano at the age of 4, did someone get you interested in it, or is it something that you just found fascinating already at that young age?
It was my mother who was interested in it. So I'm the last of 5. My mother said that she had tried to get the other siblings in, but they started a bit later. And so I started quite early with my piano lessons, and I stuck with it. It was very challenging because practice time always had to happen before you go outside and play with your friends.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Study your law degree at Regenesis Law School in Sandton or online and build a successful future with leading multinational corporations, or launch your own legal practice. A Regenesis Law degree is profoundly transformational, shaping intellectually sharp, fearless warriors of justice and purpose-driven lawyers. Regenesis is Africa's fastest-growing education institution with 1,000 multinational clients across 12 countries and a faculty of 100 industry experts. Enroll now for your law degree at Regenesis Law School at law.regenesis.net.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
At Chamberlain's, there's something for everyone. From building supplies for the home renovators to garden essentials for the homemakers. From power tools for the DIY doers to painting supplies for the patio Picassos. We even have coffee for the slightly sleepy and snacks for the young ones. And for the ones who can never quite find what they're looking for, we have you covered too. With our promise to find and source whatever you need. Chamberlain's, famous for hardware since 1903.
Weekday evenings at 6.
I never hear anything from the Small Business Development Ministry about helping small business.
No, it's not just you. I also don't know what's happening in as far as that is concerned. I really think we're probably going to have to try and focus more on infrastructure spending, because when you're looking at our gross capital fixed formation at the moment, it's only 15%. 10% of that comes from the private sector.
Busisiwe Mavuso, the CEO of Business Leadership South Africa.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, named Best Cash Management Services in Africa at the 2025 EMEA Finance Treasury Services Awards. EWN Sport.
For the last time on the show, Tolagele Mganga, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Khomotso. The Proteas return to test action tomorrow as they take on India in the first of two clashes. Captain Themba Bavuma has once again called for CSA to schedule more tests for South Africa, who are yet to play in front of their own fans since winning the World Test Championship final.
As being seen outside of the big three, I think it is a bit of more of a victory than anything. I mean, it's sad that we're in this position, but I think quite positive that we'll be playing 14 tests, a little bit more than the last test cycle. We're still crying for a little bit more tests. We'd love to play against teams like your India, England and Australia. Will have this opportunity in the test cycle. Maybe not just 2 tests, maybe 3 tests. That'll be fun.
Rassie Erasmus has discussed the importance of keeping the Springboks winning run going as they take on Italy in the outgoing tour on Saturday. He's made 11 changes to the starting 15 for that game, with Jean Klein and Zachary Porthen selected, and he's picked 2 centre rows and 2 back rows on the bench as part of a 6-2 split.
The reality is we go and look at the team sheet, we go and analyse the team that we play. The noises that comes from the outside, I'm not talking South African. Sometimes you listen to that and it's one hell of a praise, then you lose one game and then you're bad again. So the moment you start listening to that, the non-South African people giving comment on that, kind of live in not in a real reality, in the truth. So we try to stay in the truth.
Nigeria's 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff against Gabon tonight is back on. That follows a players' strike over unpaid bonuses. The Super Eagles had boycotted training on Tuesday, demanding payments that dated back to 2019. Meanwhile, the other semi-final will see Cameroon squaring off against the Democratic Republic of Congo. For Bafana, they take on Zambia in a friendly on Saturday. Ngosinati CBC has discussed not trying to think about AFCON, with the squad for that tournament set to be named next month.
No, for us, it's just taking one game at a time. We know we have a mammoth task, against Zambia at home. But we're playing at home and we have to make it count. And I think the performances have been showing, throughout the period of the 2 years or 3 years we've been with the coach. So on the weekend, it won't be any different. We can't look ahead of ourselves and think of AFCON. We have to think about the game on Saturday.
And the women's 100-meter finals will headline the first day of competition at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics. Organizers have announced a reshaped schedule that moves athletics into week 1 and gives swimmers a chance to attend the opening ceremony. The switch stems from venue logistics at SoFi Stadium, which hosts parts of the swimming, while athletics will be held at the LA Memorial Coliseum and run first. That's in order to allow time to convert SoFi for aquatics in week 2. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Karabojale, there are delays in Boksburg.
Yes, in the Sunwood Park area, we still have those roadworks causing about a 20-minute delay heading towards Brakpan N17 eastbound. That's between Rondebolt and Carnival City. In the Croydon Kempton Park area, we also have roadworks. This is a roadwork slowing down traffic R24 in both directions. This is between Barbara Road and the R21 Calvin Alex area. Roadworks also causing more than a 20-minute delay heading towards Germiston. That's the N3 southbound between the Between Interchange and London Road. In Centurion, there's traffic pressure still on the N1 north between John Foster and the R21 Flying Saucer Interchange. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a shift worker making his way home and daydreaming about his next career move, his next chapter. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a possible light bulb moment that could change someone's life. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 Podcast on PrimeMediaPlus.com.
17:43 right here on the 702 Drive. My name is Khomotso Modise and I'm in for John Perlman this afternoon. I'm with you until 6 p.m. and it's that time of the show, my favorite time of the show. We're going to be taking your your song requests. It's the song feature. Today, we're taking music that your parents used to love that has rubbed off on you. A song that was your favorite song or your parents' favorite song, and they played it so much that, you know, it became your favorite song. Sometimes it was unwillingly. You didn't necessarily, were not trying to like the song, but you heard it so much that it stuck. And in studio, we've got our producer, Teddy So. Hi, Teddy So. Good afternoon.
Musa and the listeners.
So you have a song.
I do have a song. So there's Phil Collins, right? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I don't know you guys, but with me, I would hear the song a lot, especially when there's events and stuff like that. But let me take you back to when my mom would take me to, what is it, society? What do they call it
the
now?
society.
Yeah, the society. Yes.
Society, let's talk for like everyone. Yes,
Yeah, something like that.
Same.
So, get a closing party December time and
Yes.
stuff like that, and then they would have that closing party and everything. And King Collins will play, and then the mamas will be dancing. There's this dance that they would do and stuff. So I fell in love with the song because I knew like every year when I go to events or such events with my mom,
They
that
would
song
play
would
the
play no
song.
maranjan. So even now, I still love that song.
Sure. I remember that. Oh, you were also that. I was also that child who used to go with my mom to
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
The meals were amazing. You know, the
meals,
mamas.
yes. You know, and the vibe once they are tipsy.
Yeah.
And
Then they start dancing.
Yeah, that special dance that they would do and stuff. So even now, it's still a classic. It's still a beautiful song. I still love it. And I think I'll forever love Phil Collins.
I'm trying to explain society to our listeners who might not know what it is. But it's like a social gathering of women usually
Who save up money
that save up money,
funerals or investments sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they have sometimes they would meet monthly. My mom had one where they'd meet monthly.
Yes.
And sometimes they meet once a year, right?
Mhm.
All right, let's listen to that. That's Phil Collins, right here on 702 Drive.
We never talked about it, but I hear the blame was mine. And I called you up to say I'm sorry, but I wouldn't want to waste your time. 'Cause I love you, but I can't take anymore. There's a look I can't describe in your eyes. If we could try
That's Phil Collins. Do you remember? Pina Kodiso Sighting. Thank you so much, Tediso, for that request. We're taking more of your song requests after this.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
These questions, what kind of man are you? What kind of woman are you? Don't do that. If there's nothing else you can take from our experience of 702 and the conversations we have, let it be that we educate each other, not just about politics and current affairs, but we educate each other about how to be better people and to also accept there's a hell of a lot we just don't know, and that's okay.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Experience a unique musical journey as the Mzansi National Philharmonic Orchestra presents its national tour, featuring legendary conductor Marin Alsop and homegrown global sensation Abel Selauchwe. The program includes Selauchwe's Four Spirits Cello Concerto, paired with Rachmaninoff's Romantic Symphony No. 2. Concerts take place at the Linda Auditorium on Wednesday the 10th and Thursday the 11th of December. Book your tickets now at Quicket.
Introducing South Africa's most affordable way to get hearing aids. At Specsavers Audiology, you can now get a pair of hearing aids from as little as 599 Rand per month. Hearing clearly shouldn't be a luxury. Enjoy life's moments from 599 Rand per month. Test your hearing today and join the conversation with Specsavers Audiology. T's and C's apply.
For the first time on African soil, business leaders from across the globe will gather for the B20 Summit in Sandton from 18th to 20th November. On the agenda is inclusive growth and prosperity through global cooperation. This Tuesday, the Clement Manatella Show will be in conversation with Nedbank to discuss all the news, views, and insights live from the B20 Summit. So tune in to 702 in conversation with Nedbank, proud sponsors of the B20 Summit. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. 702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Pamatza and 780 Land. So a song that my mom and I share the love of is Weakness in Me. Her version is Jonah Trading and mine is Keisha White. I just love this song. Why did you come here? And when you know I've got troubles enough, why do you call me when you know I can't answer the phone?
Hi, Komoto. Thank you so much for the great show. My former boss used to play it every day, literally every day. She would give me a lift going home. I was still an intern, so she would play the song, wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. I ended up loving that song simply because she used to play it a lot.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more back thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up, all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can.
Wake up, everybody, right here on the 702. That's a nostalgic one for me. Sounds absolutely beautiful. I see many of your voice notes, so let's see how many we can try get through.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Hi, Khumotso and the 702 team, Sheldon here in Pretoria. My mom used to love Frank Sinatra, I Did It My Way. I I also love that one. Nice one. Thanks.
Hi, Sean from Springs. Great show today. Songs that my parents used to play to death are definitely ABBA. Knowing You, Knowing Me. Great song. Still sounds good. Have a good one.
Should we? It's ABBA right here on 702 Drive. Thank you so much for your requests. All right, let's try get through more voice notes. I see them coming in. We're taking requests of songs that your parents used to love and they kind of stuck and rubbed off on you.
Hi, Kamoso. This is also my favorite part of the show. My favorite song that my parents, they used to listen to a lot of music, but the one is, I heard it through the grapevine by Marvin Gaye and Temptations. Sorry from How to Be a Sport.
A song that takes me back, that I am deeply so in love with. It's my track. My grandfather, while he was still alive, he used to play this song. He had it on, what is it, a vinyl? Yeah, there's decks, there's Aretha Franklin, Jimmy Lee. Wow. Amazing. Wow, Jimmy Lee, that's my song. Takes me back. Thank you. Lerato from Springs.
All this time, I couldn't shake your memory, and I never knew the sweetest love was the first. So what am I supposed to do about this curse? Oh, baby, I've got you to blame, and I'm calling out your name. Oh, he was so fine, Jimmy Lee. Oh, he was so fine, Jimmy Lee.
Oh, Aretha Franklin, Jimmy Lee, right here on 702 Drive. Thank you so much for that request. There's so many of your voice notes coming in. It seems there are many memories of the music that your parents used to play that stuck with you. Let's take a final round of voice notes.
702 and the listeners, this is EB again. Once again, good evening. Well, my song my mom should play in my days was Stevie Wonder's on New Year's Day. I should wonder why she should play the song. And after many years, I pondered about it, and it had deep meaning. Thank you. Enjoy your evening. Good night.
Hi, Ramazo. It's Sapo here from Branston. Good to have you this afternoon for the week. Yeah, what song that dates back from my mom's days? Yeah, she was even now late. Was Bruce Hosby and the Range, Mandolin Rain. Yeah, it always takes me back to those days when we used to say radio is only wireless. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much for your requests this afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. This has been fantastic. And we've been with you from 3 to 6 this afternoon. And coming now is The Money Show. But thank you so much for your contributions. We do it again tomorrow for the Friday edition of 702 Drive. For now, though, it is goodbye.
And now, The Money Show.
With Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And DSTV channel 856.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, named